Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Monday Morning Murder Podcast. I am your host, Fayfire, and this is my beautiful friend, Mandy. And we are here today to discuss Yellowjackets Season 1, Episode 7, called No Compass. And this is it's just kind of, it's kind of an in-between episode. I mean, it's like some exciting things definitely happen to a few characters, and a lot of secrets are unveiled. And we have a lot to discuss today. Besides just the episode, we have a lot of Season 3 updates going on because in the time that we were off for the last month, the Emmys happened, the Golden Globes happened, so of course, somebody just pulled up. Oh, where'd you go, Mandy? I lost Mandy, I think. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we are going to be going over all of that, all of the fun details of the Emmys, of the Golden Globes, who each of the awards had some nominations for the Yellowjackets. So we're going to be getting into all the details on that. Hello, welcome back.
Yeah, I have no compass already this episode.
It is what it is. You know what? That's just how it goes. We roll with the punches.
Well, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead. How's it going, Nancy? Hello.
I'll take the true north, or I guess I'm true south direction. You're true north now. But it's been going, and honestly, this episode hit me really hard because right now there's a lot of changes and things going on in my life, and I really honestly feel like I have no compass. So I was just like feeling this episode a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really cold here, and I'm complaining in Texas. I know it's freezing there in the rest of the United States with all these cold fronts, and my friends up in the D313 shout out. Anyway, though, welcome to the show. Hello, you fellow Jackets, Blood Hive, Yellowjackets enthusiasts, and citizen detectives. We have missed you so much, and we're back finally.
And we are, surviving the long winter, just like the girls who no longer have a cabin between Season 2 and 3, which, hey, why don't you guys, if you're here watching live, drop in the chat, like, what is happening? Okay, so we have Season 3 coming. So let's get into this. So the Emmys happened, the Golden Globes happened. The Golden Globes, so Christina Ricci was nominated for Best Female Actor in a Supporting Role. Unfortunately, she didn't take away the award, but you know what? Like, a lot of these shows are in their final season. So I think a lot of us were like expecting, hey, I think most of the time when shows are in their final season, they are more like they take precedent in winning. And so we know we've got a lot more to look forward to.
How misty is that, though? Misty is the best supporting actress. She's not the main character in her role. She's not the star. Even Caligula says it's time to be the star. So I think it works perfect. And I think that if that's what Christina Ricci has killed it, and to me, that's best supporting actress, because as the best actress, because that's her job as Misty. So I don't know, like, let's go team. You know what I mean, though? Like, that's Misty's role.
I feel you. Definitely. She's team manager. Like, and she's the only one that got recognized for the Golden Globe. So that's like pretty good on her.
Wow.
It's
sad because people need to learn and know Yellowjackets better, I believe. But you know what? That's what we're so cool about. And like, all of our fans or people or haters, whatever. If you're watching, you're down. Because if you like Yellowjackets, then we're in for the gold, baby.
If you're here watching our Season 1 coverage, then you're a true fan. Because we have not been getting great views. But that's okay. We're just doing it for the love. And also to like get caught up on the freaking, on the show. So then when Season 3 comes around, we're all caught up. We can say, hey, go back, watch our Season 1 coverage, watch our Season 2 coverage. And, it is what it is. We're doing it for the love of the game. The love and of soccer.
The golden hearts.
Exactly. Okay, so the Emmy Awards. And so actually Melanie Linsky was nominated for Best Lead Actress in a Drama Series for her role as Shauna. So that's really exciting. And I love her so much because, as we were just saying, well, Melanie Linsky didn't even show up to to the Emmys, which I just loved. I was like, that's such like a boss move right there. And granted, she didn't end up taking the award home, but whatever. She prioritizes her life, and good for her. Self-care.
She's also across the world, though, right? I mean, is she still in the United States? I mean, she's from.
I think she does. Yeah, she's from
New Zealand?
Australia originally. She's not
or New Zealand.
No, Australia.
No, it's Australia. Okay.
Fairly certain. I don't know if someone in the chat knows otherwise. I'm fairly certain Aussie, not Kiwi. But I think that Simone Kessel is a Kiwi. But then also Yellowjackets was nominated for Outstanding Drama Series for an Emmy. And again, neither one they took home, but hey, whatever. It's worth like the accolades, the excitement, and just being a part of it and being appreciated. So let me.
These girls are champs.
Period. These girls are champs. Some of these kids, Okay, let me pull it up. I did make some lovely. What am I looking for right now? Hold on. Pictures. Here we go. Sorry. I'm like, what is my computer doing? Okay, so I made some collages for you guys of the photos of their beautiful outfits. I mean, come on. So, of course, I included Sammy in this one, Sammy Hanratty, who plays young Misty, and then Christina Ricci here at the Emmys, and then at the Golden Globes. And she just looks amazing and beautiful. And let's not forget, she literally had a baby like a couple years ago. So, I mean, she looks amazing. Come on.
Yeah, I love that you say that, but I mean, like, I still look kind of like I might be pregnant or belly bumping, and it's like my child is he's 7, so there's, and look at her, she's first off, she's always looking amazing, and yeah,
I love her so much because really, I mean, we kind of gushed on her, on maybe episode 5 or 6, we just went on a big like, oh, she's amazing,
yada.
Yeah, and she's just so beautiful, and I've been watching her literally my entire life, like going back to my childhood. Casper, we had that on VHS. Now and then, like, come on, that was my favorite movie growing up. Just it was it came out at such a perfect age for me, so I just grew up watching her, and it just warms my heart to get to like continue loving her. I don't know, whatever. That's weird.
Love you now and then and in the future. I still always love you.
And pausing the movie on Devon Sawa's Wang, just like Jackie. Anyway, well, she did Bruce Willis, but
Now, are you sure it wasn't his thighs or maybe those meaty calves?
Maybe. Good point. All right, here we have the younger cast. They look amazing.
So can I just say, like, I didn't watch any of these. I've been so in another world and with no compass. I haven't even been watching TV, honestly. Like, I've been crazy. But I missed it all. I thought they were this weekend or something. But anyway, this is my first time seeing them. And I'm like, and I went to fashion school, and I'm like, wow, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
They all look so beautiful. I didn't actually watch the awards. I just went on Twitter and got all these photos. And they did some really great interviews. And actually, Ashley and Bart did some interviews as well. And so we do have, some season 3 updates because of that. So we've got, so just real quick here, we've got Sophie Nalise, we've got Courtney Eaton, we've got some... I'm trying to remember all the girls' names. Hold on. Help me out here, Mandy. We know we've got Liv Houston.
Jasmine Savoy Brown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sophie.
She makes you want to scream in that outfit.
I know. She looks fantastic. I loved her hair. Hold on. I don't know if I can see it that
No,
well.
I mean, literally that like soft gray. It's like almost silver, but it's more of a gray
It's so
palette.
thin.
She's
Like, I saw this other picture of her
stunning.
and Tawny together, and it's just so,
Oh,
like, sheer. It's
and
so I was like, "Girl, you have to just feel like a goddess or something." It just so,
Liv
like,
is
it just was
posh.
giving
Yeah.
nymph, like, water nymph vibes.
Yeah, for sure. Or like the misty cloud type thing. She just reminds me of like this floating mist cloud that is ready to just embrace the air you breathe or control it, like she
Mhm.
was in this episode. She's controlling my breath right now for real. And Liv
Totally,
looking
and her
posh.
hair, like, was so, like, I don't know, she has it, like, kinda coiffed, I think they say coiffed, where it's, like, up and, because she has pretty short hair, like, just like Ty, and she just has it looking, I mean, she looks, like,
Yeah.
otherworldly, really.
I mean, they all do. I love how Courtney Eaton, like, she's wearing that black, like, she's first off, can I just, it looks very French to me. Like, that's the kind of vibe I get. You get that
Mhm,
Grecian look from Sophie, right?
mhm.
Sophie. Am I pronouncing it right?
Sophie,
But
yeah,
like,
Sophie, like,
yeah, no, see. And then honestly, like Liv is just rocking it. I love the androgynous look, that
mhm.
style. Actually, so like I've been an androgynous trendsetter for almost 20 years. Like I was all
Yeah.
about it 20 years ago in high school too. So
Mandy
I just
made a
now
really, like, amazing video she shared with me a few years ago from when she was in college of, like, all this androgynous style and stuff. I was like, "Whoa,
yeah.
dude." Like, it was cool.
It was like androgyny, the future of the future coming. And it was like it was forever ago using Lady Gaga. It's kind
Mhm.
of silly, but I won't. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
loved it.
no, but I love. So Sophie Thatcher. Like, first off, this green color is coming back in style. Like this particular color, which is like very 70s kind of posh.
Mhm,
It goes with that like burnt orange
mhm.
style. I don't know if you know those colors from the 70s. And then
Oh,
dandelion
girl, I
gold.
live my
So
life by
they're
these
coming back.
colors.
And actually the color trend this year is peach. So which is kind of silly. It's fun to say, but it is one of the color trends this year. But I love this in Sophie because I don't know. I feel like it's very young Juliette Lewis too. Like look at her hair, like how
Mhm.
she's rocking it, what she's
Totally.
doing. And is there like a picture or did they make an appearance together?
I don't have any pictures of them together, unfortunately,
I'm gonna have to look it up though.
but I do have a picture of the older women. I was just gonna ask, and
Okay.
anyone, if you guys wanna throw it out in the chat, what dress would you wear? If it was like, if you
Oh,
were like, if you had to pick one of these dresses, like, Mandy, what dress would you pick? What do you feel like is
well,
most you?
I love Liv's, but my boobs would not stay in that. I mean, they
You
would
would
be
look
everywhere.
so epic. You
I
would.
think honestly, probably I would Sophie's would be my choice because of my coloration and that's one of my favorite colors. Like I mean, obviously, like that's my color scheme around my house is super 70s and
Mhm.
mid-century modern. But that is kind of my style. I don't know if I could pull off Charlotte's. I might be able to do the leg when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sophie's.
I think I'm Sophie Nalise. Like,
Yeah,
I loved her look, like the nude, and she just looks really regal and beautiful. And I don't know, I just feel like
classic.
I love
Yeah,
that shape, that silluette. Sorry, we're
she's
totally being
very
girls here. We're
glam
talking
Hollywood.
fashion.
That's
Deal with
fine, fine. Ooh,
it. Then we have
awesome.
our elder jackets. We have Juliette Lewis, and we have Lauren Ambrose and Tawny
Yeah.
Cypress, and they
That's
look beautiful.
Lauren's outfit is such you're a servant
I know
outfit, right?
that was exactly what I thought. I was like,
I was
"Oh
like,
my god,
yes.
Dorothy picked this outfit out. This is Dorothy approved right
It's
here." But
it's
also,
that's very
it
good.
reminded me of you, Mandy, actually, because it
Yeah.
has like birds on it and stuff. It's really, yeah,
I would wear it. It's funny because in Servant, actually, her bedspread is like my bedspread, the
Mhm.
gold one. It's the exact same one, pretty much. So, yeah, that is totally a Mandy outfit. I would wear that all the time because I'm usually pretty covering, but I do love like Juliet's is stunning, and it's
Mhm.
I Like it's
I love how
surprising.
Italian, it's just like giving like Italian like mob wife or something.
Look at her hair. She looks posh. She looks young. She has like I feel like it's kind of a Latino vibe, to be honest with you. Like, because I love
True.
her up singular ponytail.
Very, yeah.
And it's something different for Juliet. Like, I love this color. You know, she's pretty bold and out there. And I've seen her wear red before, but like this is like, wow, it's
Mhm.
and she looks so young and fresh, right?
She
Looks
does.
extremely
She looks
fresh.
beautiful. She really does. And Tawny Cypress looks amazing. I actually really like
She's
her dress
so
a lot. It's so like I love how flowy. I love the sort of morphing of the colors. It's just very like glam.
yeah.
She just looks beautiful and glam.
And her energy is like, let's have fun, let's roll with it. I like,
Mhm.
let's, get this. And she is flowy. And you're
Mhm.
right. I love the energy she's bringing too, especially because like her character in the show is very stern. You know, it's not the same energy that you get from her on a regular basis. I think
Mhm.
when you see her energy outside of her actor role or her
Mhm.
regular personality, because that's what always throws me off a little. I'm like, wow, this is the same Thaisa Turner,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she lives like she has a ranch, like she lives on a farm in real life, you know.
Mhm.
Pretty sure she smokes a little weed and like, you know, she just is
Little
like a
bit.
laid back kind of chick. And you know,
Yeah.
I was thinking, it's funny. I was actually thinking about this. I was like, out of everybody that I would probably like hang out with on the cast, like for real, like hang out with, she's probably the one that would, you know, really be the most down to earth and like fun, like let's go to Tawny's, let's go, you know, on her farm or whatever and just hang out. It just seems fun.
She's the one that will help you bury a dead body?
Probably. She might provide the dead body and we have to help her. Who
Mm.
knows? She's
That's
got
a
the
true
ranch.
that's when you know they're on your team, baby.
Uh,
Oh, yes!
look at the boys. They look so good.
Oh my
Like,
Jeff. Oh,
I know. Jeff was the, you know, he's
he's
MVP.
like James Bond.
He was taking photos all night, posting photos, whereas like none of the girls were really doing it. And so everyone was like, oh, you know, Warren posted this. And yeah, he looks super handsome. They all look handsome. They look
He's
amazing.
like he needs to be the next James Bond. Look at that.
He has a
Like
fine,
double
he has a
O.
fine
Yeah,
look.
Lola says hi. Oh, by the way, hi chat, and hi Yasi, hi Lola, hi Cece, and whoever else is on. But yeah,
Thank you
Jeff
guys
did
for being
not
here.
come to play. He didn't come to play. That is right. And then yeah, Coach Fat, I love that too. Like the black and white, so in, so
Mm-hmm.
trendy.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Travis, I am like so sorry. I'm spacing on names tonight, this morning, whatever time of whatever it is. Um he looks absolutely so handsome, you know, and people love to hate on Travis or, you know, whatever, say that like whatever, just hate on the men, but
It's like Kevin Alves. Kevin Alves.
yeah, Kevin Alves, yeah. And look up Coach's name while you're at it, because
Oh
I
yeah.
you probably know it, but
I'm having such a crazy morning.
we're
Let me
having brain farts this morning. I know Jeff is Warren Cole, but forgive me, guys. We're super professional here.
and I
But
know
Kevin
Peter
Alves, yeah,
Goodell.
he looks. I mean, honestly, like tasty boy.
Steven Kruger.
Stephen Kruger, thank you.
I
Sorry. And he looks, I absolutely am obsessed with this suit. And his like 5 o'clock
Can you
shadow
zoom
beard
in?
he's got going on, like the whole thing. He looks just stunning, epic. I love it.
Let me zoom in a little bit on him. Let me
Okay.
I do love the beard. It's this to me is very Italian.
Hey.
This is
Hey.
next level. Next level. I probably bet it's an Italian designer.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. And so does Travis. I'm like loving this little pin he's got going on. Just he looks good, okay? Say what you want. Yeah, Italian mob wife Faye. Hey, I'm, you know, on certain days. On the days I'm making a good gravy on the stove. Okay.
My grandma was an Italian mob wife, so let's not go there.
My grandma was an Italian mob wife too, actually, but
lower
we
mob.
don't have to get into that either.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day,
Nobody
or for the
important.
newspapers. But hey,
Teamster style.
we just like to keep things interesting. We like criminal men. Okay. Anyways, so next up on the docket, let's talk about so Ashley and Bart, they gave an interview, and we've got some updates for season 3. Sorry, you guys, we're taking like our sweet time. It's been a while since we've been here, but
I'm not apologizing.
Exactly. So they revealed that they are filming for season 3 is starting in May, early in May. So in like just a couple months here. So they're wrapping up writing and all of that. And they didn't reveal like a ton, of course, of what's going to be happening in season 3, but they did reveal that they're going to be exploring more of the psychological aspects and the secrets that they're keeping. Which of course makes sense because the end of season 2 was so taxing, spoilers, if you haven't watched, spoiler, the cabin burns down. And so it's like, if, what could be more psychologically taxing than trying to actually, like, now we're really getting into like, we have to survive kind of situation. So, and so they did reveal that season 3 should be coming out early 2025 is what we're looking for. So I'm kind of guessing like probably the same time frame as season 2, because season 2 was like, wasn't it March 23rd or something like that, I think is when it came out. So I'm going to kind of guesstimate about the same for season 3, which, hey, is totally reasonable. I mean, considering that there was a writer's strike, an actor's strike, and all of that going on. So, of course, things are a little bit behind from what we were hoping for. But you know what? That's good for me. Like 2 years, like on the money. Hey, can't argue with that. I do have like a lot of thoughts about what, season 3 could contain. And of course, I want to kind of speculate on that. No,
it's gonna take 5 hours, and we have to make theory videos. We're not giving that away yet, not yet.
Well, I do want to talk. So, also, a couple of the actors sort of kind of gave their ideas of what might be happening for season 3. And Sammy Hanratty, who plays younger Misty, she says, season 1 was chaotic and messy. Season 2 was still and cold and dark. And this one feels like it's going to be the meltdown of what these people are, really get to see the growdiness of these girls. And Sophie Nalise said that it's going to be feral. So, and we saw some of that, like their feral nature, that inner wilderness, like especially in season 2 especially with Shauna, like with after the baby and all of that, and like her beating up Lottie and just all of it. Like, I just feel like that raw, like animalistic instinct is really going to be coming into the presence in season 3 for all of the characters. Which I'm here for. I always, and I've said this before, but there's like, so the Donner Party, obviously, like there's like intermixed into, sort of the storytelling of Yellowjackets are kind of all these different survival stories, and then sort of cultural stories of like cannibalistic practices and other kinds of things like that. But one thing that I always think about is when in the story of the Donner Party, like when they were found, these people were, a few of them had sort of put together kind of ramshackle, like little shacks to live in and that kind of thing. But a lot of them were just out there in the elements. They had basically dug out holes in the snow and they were like hunkered down in there for shelter. And they're dirty and they're starving, they're emaciated and all this kind of stuff. And so when the survivor, or when the rescuers like came, there was like this story of them like climbing out of their holes, and it just is like so reminiscent of like, I don't know, just a horror movie, and just absolutely terrifying. And I just feel like what else can they possibly get to? I feel like something of that nature is coming in season 3, because like what
it.
other choice are they going to have? You know, their shelter is gone. They're either going to have to go back to the plane where there's like a bunch of dead bodies, or maybe not. I think they kind of cleared it out, but they could go back
the
there
dead
and
bodies?
survive in there. But go ahead.
Are they
What
going
do
to
you
eat
say?
the dead bodies too? Like, are they going to dig them up? You know, who knows? And then beyond that, I just think that there's, yeah, it's going to get really, let's talk about scavenging and starving. It's going to be a whole other level. And it is exciting. Definitely.
It's gonna be, I'm like honestly a little bit scared. I'm really honestly a little bit scared.
I'd be building igloos. I mean, I'd be fine. I'd be like, Inuit, what's up? Let's go.
Well, like, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like now knowing, you know, who I am now, I would have some ideas on survival and what to do. But like when I was 17, I would probably not have, because like, yeah, I'd go out camping and like goofing around with my friends and stuff, but like realistically, I don't think I had any concept of like actually surviving if something would have happened out there, you know, because you're just not really thinking about it. You're not like, your mindset isn't that, I don't know, especially coming from like a more civilized environment. It's like if you grew up in a wilderness environment, you would know how to forage, you would know what's edible and what's not. But when you're just like thrust into it without any knowledge or anything, it's like it's a very different experience. But
well, Akila does okay. I mean, like I said, Girl Scouts tribe right here. My dad was like, he trained me on that stuff growing up too, and then I was also a huge in the anthropology, so like I actually studied the Inuit and the Iditarod and things like that when I was like 15, so I probably would have done okay actually, but I probably would have done better then than I would now actually. But you know, I was trained, and my dad is you know, on the Coast Guard, and he's literally like, what do you do in survival methods? What do you do? Like, I've been pinned down all my life to do it. I have probably more food in storage for if like a hurricane comes. I got like 2 months of food.
Yeah.
But when you crash in a plane, it's a whole other story than your home base. So you're right. Like they have nothing, and they have just barely the blankets, which one of them, like we said, it might be the cloak. But yeah. But we'll see. I mean, the burning down, this is gonna really make the difference of who is for the people and who is against society, who is the selfish, narcissist, self-soothing people, and who are the codependent or society serving people, the law of one, the nations of one, or the others.
Yeah. So Mola asks, have any of you guys seen the Society of the Snow on Netflix? And yes, I did. I actually watched it like the day it came out. I was like, oh my God. So, and Mandy, I don't know did you get a chance to watch it yet?
No, no. I told you I haven't watched TV since like last episode that we did and we covered. I've been crazy doing stuff, and I told you all my mom has passed. So like things, you know. Anyway, I haven't seen it, but I did rewatch the original rugby team Crash or Alive, and I did rewatch all that a while, like not long ago. I think in November.
This one is it's about
it's on Netflix now.
Yes, yeah, it's a brand new movie that was made there, or it's a movie. So was it a movie or a series? Now I'm like, it's slipping my mind.
Well,
I'm like so
I'm
lost.
Going today. I'm gonna go watch.
Regardless, it's really good. It was excellent. I was crying my eyes out. Like, it's based on the plane crash in the Andes. That was the from Uruguay, the rugby team. And so a lot of Yellowjackets, the story is kind of based on this idea, or sort of, you know, around the same premise, obviously being a soccer team. And yeah, it was an excellent, it's
still Alive, right? I mean, it's the same story from Alive.
Yes. Yeah, but it was pretty dramatic. And I was actually considering doing like Yellowjackets compared to Society of the Snow. But I actually decided against it because it's actually pretty dramatic, pretty it's a much different tone than Yellowjackets, where Yellowjackets kind of explores a little more there's fantastical elements in a sense, or just like various stories being interwoven into it, including this one. It just seemed like it was too intense for me to sit here and cross compare Yellowjackets with it, because it was just so I don't know what the word is. It was intense. It was intense, but it was also really beautiful. It was really good. It created a lot of questions, and yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
Well, if you say you can't cross compare Yellowjackets to it, because basically, if y'all don't know us, this is like a way of life for us now. It's a religion. I don't even know how people can say Yellowjackets is a horror film or horror, because I find it on TV as a horror. I'm like, it needs to be right next to like the making and finding of Genesis next to me. I mean, it's right next to mine on my playlist, because I'm very into like Genesis and Bible based stuff. But anyway, it's just funny because like I literally use a lot of the teachings, and I have some stuff gonna come. I'm not gonna over promise and under deliver, because I have 1,000 things I want to do. But anyway, I do have a lot of connections on how Yellowjackets and the Bible compare, which is coming out later. But yeah, I feel like it's a religion. Like, and you can't compare something is like
it's just too much of a different tone. But you know what was so funny is on that note, like literally, yeah, we can cross compare Yellowjackets with anything. Last night, my husband and I were watching episode 7, just preparing for the stream, which we have yet to even start discussing. And I was sitting there, I'm like, wait a second, I started cross comparing Yellowjackets with what I'm going to make a confession to you guys right now. My, I don't know what you call it, like a comfort show, my guilty pleasure comfort show is Trailer Park Boys.
It's an awesome show. It's amazing. Epic. It's hilarious.
I love Trailer Park. Like literally, if you guys don't watch Trailer Park Boys, then I don't know. We're just like not the same kind of person. But
you know what? I don't think we've ever even talked that we both like Trailer Park Boys.
I watched.
I didn't even know that about you.
I don't think that we haven't. No, literally, like, I watched Trailer Park Boys more than any show ever, probably. Like, we watch it every single night. I've been watching it since I was like 18, 19 years old, bootlegging it from freaking Canada. And now, even to this day, my husband and I we bonded over it when we met each other, and it was like, yeah, I love Trailer Park Boys. I love Trailer Park Boys. Okay, we're in love now.
I love also Righteous Gemstones. Obviously, back to my Bible.
Bonnie does too. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Righteous Gemstones to me is like brilliant, beyond brilliant, and I like cried during the season finale because I'm like, yes, I'm teaching Jesus. Oh,
yeah, we watched that one.
It's just like defamation as it can be, and like funny, but they are still pretty moral based, and like they stay true to characters and like tones and those things. So I really like.
Well, they explore like some interesting like themes in that one, like even like there's like a gay character, the one of the sons, and that sort of like that's like my favorite plot line in that. We're just we're BSing here.
We have no compass today.
But so Yellowjackets and Trailer Park Boys, I was like, wait, Randy. And just anyways, so there's that. Okay, so
I was comparing Randy to Randy Marsh and Randy Welsh, because in the notes I was putting Randy Marsh, which is
that's awesome. South Park's another one of our guilty pleasure shows. So I mean, come on. We actually, Rodney and I, we always say that we're like Randy and Sharon because we're Rodney and Aaron. So it's like, and we're both like, he's like a crazy.
You are. While we're on though, South Park, I mean, Scott Turnham and Miss Di, what's in the chili?
Oh,
see, it all is round circle. Everything is one.
Exactly.
Everything is Yellowjackets to us.
But I do have like so many like Yellowjackets, House of the Dragon like crossover theories, and I really don't care if you guys like think it's too much because it's happening. So
we are too much.
This is my channel, and that's what I want to do.
First off, if you follow us, we love and entertain any and all ideas, period, whether it's too little or too much. And if it's too little, we'll make it too much really quick through a chain of series of events and thoughts. Like literally, we'll connect it and we'll have fun. And I mean, there's never too, what is too much? Too much?
What is too much?
Stop being so basic.
Speaking of, okay, sorry, before we really get into what we're here for, can I just put out there, are you guys watching True Detective? Have you watched the new?
Not the new ones. No.
There's 2 new episodes, and oh my MG, I am kind of obsessed. I'm like battling myself to not like cover it, but actually I have like a friend of the channel. They're called Scene Invaders. If you guys are not familiar with Scene Invaders, I'll link their channel, but we covered Servant at the same time. They covered Yellowjackets, and now they're covering True Detective, and I've gone on their channel once before. I think we were talking during it was either Servant or Yellowjackets we were talking about, but they're covering True Detective, and they came out with like this awesome theory, and then it turned out to be totally true, and I was like, oh my God. So anyways, they invited me to come on, so I might end up going on there and chatting with them. But if you guys haven't been watching True Detective, season 4 is really like connecting back to season 1 a lot, and I'm just obsessed. Sorry, it's on my brain right now. So yes, thank you, Scene Invaders. Yes, they are a great channel. So check them out. Okay, tra-la-la.
I'm getting jealous.
Well, you know what? They are a great channel, and
yeah, they are actually. And I was in the chat and I saw you with them, and I definitely check out their stuff too. Because you've introduced me to them from your prior engagements.
Yeah, they're great. We had a lot of fun like doing Servant coverage together, because like I made some awesome friends when I was covering Servant, because like it's just it was a very niche show, and so the other people that were covering it, I was like, I like you. You like me?
Not as good as raised by wolves.
But then they came to cover Yellowjackets, and actually Jules, she's helped me out. She sent me some episodes. Sorry, on the deep web, whatever. Anyways,
okay, now I'm really jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Our budding, our in the closet romance seems like it's not even existent anymore.
It's not exclusive. Sorry, I'm like Laris Strong over here. I'm joking. The seed is strong though. Okay. Speaking of that, that's my next video, so keep an eye out. If you guys are Alice Rivers fans.
Speaking of burning down the house,
get your popcorn. Get your popcorn, because I have like an hour-long video about Alice Rivers, and I am just taking my sweet time editing it. But anyways.
So, Laris burning down the house. This goes with Yellowjackets. Hey!
Burning down the house. Yeah. Oh my God. That's a great connection.
So me and Larry, my queen makes a wish, and next thing I burn down my house. No, I have a Larry Strong parody coming, but say hi.
Hi. Hey, Felix. How's it going, honey?
Oh, he can hear you. She says hi. He says hi.
Hi. Let's see.
He's playing hooky from school today.
Skipping school.
Yeah. Anyway, let's come this on back.
Okay, we're gonna get this. So really quick, I do want to talk about Esquire Entertainment. They published this article just kind of updating after the Emmys and after it was announced 2025 for season 3. And they posted a really interesting article that had some very interesting questions in it that had a lot of people talking on Twitter. So I kind of wanted to just share it with you guys here, which is, okay, let me just read it to you. So, and actually let me share, excuse me, stop screen, share screen. I'll just share the article screen with you guys.
Oh, here, you want me to share the link?
Got it there. Okay.
Got the link.
Okay, so we still don't know, by the way, who sent the Wish You Were Here postcards from season 1. And I was like, wait a second. Yeah, we do. That was Jeff. Okay, for a time, it looked like it was Jeff, since he's the one who tried blackmailing a couple of the survivors, but now it doesn't seem like he knows anything about the postcards. Is there another survivor the remaining ones have missed? The show has yet to provide a final answer here, but it seems to be dancing around, just like it seems to be dancing around the topic of Thais's split identity. How does she know anything about the symbols carved into the woods? Will her latent abilities help her discover Coach Ben's toasty hideout now that the cabin has burned down? She and Van are back together in the present, but with Van's terminal diagnosis and okay, anyways. So, question here, first to start with. Did Jeff send the postcards? I mean, I presume that he did, but do you guys think otherwise? Tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think that it was him or do you think it was someone else? And I know there has been like the idea of there being another survivor. It's definitely something that we've all toyed with. Like, is there someone else who made it out of the woods that maybe didn't make it into season 2 or we have yet to meet yet? So tell me in the chat, and Mandy, tell me your thoughts. Do you think there is another survivor at this point?
Maybe it was Travis or Travis's killer, or maybe Travis did it and then that's what prompted Travis's killer. I mean, we know it's Lottie, but like I the reason I said that like that is because in this season, in this episode, they actually talked. Misty shouts out to Jessica about the symbol and it's like, what do you know about the symbol? And she's like, the symbol? What are you talking about? So it was, and then she asked about the postcards too. So I've actually been thinking about that myself. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really think on that aspect. I just thought of like, dang, we need to make a bunch of Wish You Were Here postcards of like dream sets of them. One of the Wish You Were Here of like Van and Ty in New York eating bagels in a bagel. Like I'm like, are we gonna get that 3 or 4? Is this what we're gonna see? I hope so. But yeah, it could be. I mean, do you think that Tree Ty is, or Thais's altar is flips enough like that? Well, she could, or is she like is she able to do things like send out postcards? Like to me, she's so feral. Like she's too like I don't know. I don't see that side of Ty sending out postcards personally, but I see her more like, you know,
she kind of like operates
a dead dog on your porch or something.
Yeah, she's like kind of just such a solo, you know. But that's so funny that you say her because, you know, I was asking my husband about this last night. I was like, who do you think? I was like, okay, so like if there was somebody else like sending the postcard, who do you think it would be? And the first person he went to was Thaisa also. And he said probably in her like alter state. And I didn't really, I was like, I don't know. I just don't really feel like what would be the motivation behind that? Yeah. But I kind of thought maybe Lottie might have done that because it's kind of an interesting thing to toy with. Because I did double check and I took a screenshot, but I'm not going to pull it up. But I did take a screenshot because when they get the text, you know, that says bring the 50K or whatever, which is clearly Jeff blackmailing. I think we're all on the same page with that. I mean, we know he did because he admitted to it. But anyways, in the text,
it was the driver,
right? Like their car and all that. I was like, wait, is that Jeff's car? Yeah, it's Jeff's car. But and he texts the symbol. So the symbol is in the text, but it's also on the postcard. So the postcard could have come from someone else. And my thought would maybe be Lottie, but it's weird that like Shauna didn't get one. And I feel like
if Van, what if Van was in on it? Because remember when Jeff is on the phone with them and hi Van.
Yeah. Well, we never they never said if Van got a postcard. They never said if Lottie got a postcard.
But like Jeff so conveniently says like, oh hi Jeff. Oh hi Van.
I feel like if Lottie would have gotten a postcard, she would have been way more tripped out because of just like her yes, Misty did get a postcard, Lola.
Well, but I like that though with Misty though, she's saying I'm not above that she did it because she could have been like asking, what do you know? I want to know what you know. What do you know about the symbol? Because like see if she knows if she's onto her. You know, like she's lying, like she's investigating if Jessica's onto her because it could be Misty too. I'm not above that either. I think that's a great comment from Lola.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what my, like, when I was first watching, like, I think it's episode 2, and when she says she got a postcard also. And I was like, well, Misty could have easily just sent those and sent one to herself. But you would think she would have also sent one to Shauna. because she knows where Shauna is.
Well, Laura Lee would tell you that it was God. So let's just go with that. I mean, this is another is Javi Adam moment.
Which those vibes were heavy in this episode. Javi Adam vibes were like, that was like thick.
But like, it's like one of those things where we're all so convinced about this or that, and then it will be like,
yeah,
they eat them.
I mean, it might just be that simple, like that it was Jeff. I kind of think, I mean, I don't know what would be the reason behind it being someone else. Maybe it was Walter Tattersall.
Walt Havoc Sham.
That's just like just a random throwing it out there. That, I mean, if it's gonna be like some random person, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I just feel like Jeff or Lottie are like the likely people, in my opinion. I just don't know what would be the point. What would be the point of it not being Jeff, especially after the blackmail stuff, which we know he is responsible for the blackmail stuff because he did confess to that. But
well, what I wonder now, because now I think about symbolism, is like, do they fear the symbol or do they embrace it? Like, because you get power from symbols, so it's like, you know, why do some of them fear it? The other one uses as power. Yeah, that's an interesting thought too. Because like, I don't think Jeff, even still reading, would understand the true power of the symbol unless experiencing it. You know. I think someone to manipulate it and use it as power was a super narcissistic move, by the way. But like, as you know what I mean? Like some people fear it and others are just like, whatever. You know, how do you know? And the other ones are like literally like embracing it. So
I feel like
Lottie would be a great. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'm just saying Lottie using the symbol in her. And everything she does pretty much sums it up to me.
Yeah, I mean, because she does. She even has it like carved into the ground at her like compound. So, I mean, the symbol is still present in her mind. But Jeff obviously like used it against, you know, Shauna and against his own, like against that crew. And so that's where it kind of makes sense that like Shauna didn't get the postcard because like Jeff is trying to, you know, go against the rest of the group. Well, Shauna knows that she has her notebooks that have the symbol in them and all of that. So that would be like easy for her. So it's just, it makes sense to why she didn't get a postcard, but it could just be we're just looking way too deep into it. But I just thought it was interesting that like Esquire is posting like a whole article about they're like, well, we don't know who sent the postcard.
Misinformed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. And then the rest of the
art, probably Javi's art project.
Yes, exactly.
New theory.
Exactly. Yeah, I swear, like the Javi is Adam things were thick this episode. Hints. Okay, so I thought it was Jessica or even Ty who was behind the postcard. Well, that's kind of what we're discussing because like that's
the door.
That's an option. I think most people presume it was Jeff, but I guess it's still up for debate. Some people are still questioning it. So Ty, that's where my husband's mind went to, was that it was Ty, like in her alter state. But I don't think that
would Jeff make like somebody made them, or was it like marker?
They just ordered it online. Like you can just make like, you know, a little art thing online. It's just interesting.
The fact Missy doesn't sis and detective it, or does she do it? Yeah, excuse me.
Well, she did. So she looked it up. She found the website, but it's untraceable as like she couldn't trace who ordered it, unfortunately. So yeah, Jeff probably did it like from work or something, you know, working on the inventory database. No worries, Gobbles Wells. Gobble. But yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking. It's just like an idea. Like I'm still going to presume that it's Jeff. Like it's either Jeff or Lottie in my mind. But to me, it seems more likely it's all interwoven in like the blackmail thing. If it's not interwoven in the blackmail thing, then it seems to me more likely to be Lottie out of everyone. But it's still a little suspicious that Shauna, of all of them, didn't get the postcard. And we don't know if Van got a postcard either. And we don't know if there's perchance another survivor, because that's an option that's still on the table. Now, I just feel like, how would they have gone through all the things that happened in season 2 and not be like, well, maybe we should loop Melissa into this, or maybe we should loop, Akila into this, or whatever. Like this, if there's another person who was a survivor, then you would think they would have brought it up.
Coach Ben, yeah. Hey, Ben, where you been? I love this comment. Yes, I'm all about this. I feel like the Magus, his journey is coming. Coach Ben is like, he walked back. Okay, one leg walked back. Like he's a true. Yes, see, I feel it in my bones, and we felt it in the bones of the tree.
Yeah, I think he's still alive, but I don't think he got rescued with the rest of them, and I love that. And he's like tormenting them from afar. Hell yeah, do it.
I also like the idea that they rip him apart, though, because that was like something that we read that was similar. Do you remember what that was? That the Magus? No, there's something that we were comparing it to. Oh, Orpheus, right? They rip apart.
Yeah, because he turns toward Apollo or whatever. So
yeah, that's what we were talking about.
If Ben's fulfilling that Orpheus. Because there is a little bit of that symbolism, especially with Paul, and but I kind of put Coach Ben in more of the role of Odysseus personally.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah. But Odysseus has to go on this journey. This, like, he's after Troy, after the Battle of Troy and the war and all of that, he is like stuck out on his own, on the Odyssey, on his own like Odyssey adventure, and he has to face trials and tribulations. It's like 19 years, is it 19 years, 17 years or something before he can return home. So anyways, there's stuff there, there's something there.
And so we made a whole thing about it in that episode. And season, I think it's 2-3 or 2-4.
Well,
we talked about forever. We've talked about several times. So,
and we did a huge Greek mythology live stream. If you guys want to catch up on that, it's like 5 hours long, but it's like very detailed. We really go into like the Greek mythology, which is present in this story. So, and we talk a lot about Coach Ben in that.
And we didn't even do the old mythology yet. Which I'm telling you, we have to get into.
I like the idea of like sort of this like religious evolution. What is happening over here? My God.
Everything is happening everywhere.
Hold on. I don't like this. Look at this.
Everything everywhere all at once.
What are they doing to the sea? Hold on. Look it. What is this ad? Yeah. Is this because we're talking about Yellowjackets? How dare you? I don't appreciate it. Anyways.
Okay.
Okay. Next ad. Okay. Anyways.
So Gobbles, every episode we do is a deep dive video. Like we haven't even started this No Compass and it's the hour yet in. But yeah, no, we did a Greek stream. I'll drop it in the chat right now. But it was like 4 hours long Greek mythology comparison. I think you can find it on the Yellowjackets channel if you look in there.
Oh, and I have tons of other Yellowjackets content out there on there. So yeah, definitely check out my channel. If you're new to us, Gobbles, well, hello, welcome. Okay.
No, I've seen them before.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what? My brain's a little farty this morning. Okay. So I think we've gotten through most of that. I think we've gotten through most of the article. Now we're like, been going for like an hour. So let's really get into the episode, which is what we're here for. So basically in this episode, Mandy, do you want to read the synopsis for us?
Where is it?
It's at the top. It's the very top.
Oh, okay.
Right under the title.
Like, yes. Oh, that's it? Yeah. Okay. As starvation looms, Taissa leads a last-ditch effort suicide mission. That's it.
How's that?
And actually, this is very Taissa based, this episode, and we get to see her not last-ditch effort, but we get to see the real wolf, the real predator, the real killer in her come out not just in the beginning, but in the end. And you get to see the real killer in her tree side and the real killer in her regular side in the end. And that's what I loved about this episode, because it starts with Tree Tie and like her, and then her literally beating the crap out of a wolf with the axe.
Yeah. So Thaisa, she said, she basically said in episode 6, she said, you know what, I'm going. You guys can't stop me. I'm going to go and try to find a way out. And, you know, and everyone's like got their own ideas. But Jackie, surprisingly, is like all for it. And everyone was like, whoa, Jackie's for that, because she's been so like, no, we need to like stay here, stay close together and this and that. She's like, but if she's willing to go, then let her go. And there's some logic in that, because Thaisa doesn't want to sit around. If she's got the motivation to try, then let her try. What's it hurting? So Van decides she's going to go with her. And then also Mari, Akila, and Misty decide that they are also going to go with her to try and find their way out. So they get a little situation. They gather their supplies and they decide to set out on their own.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back. Can we go back to them and talk about the other groups first? Because there's like really 3 groups that go into this. We have like the ones at the cabin, the girls at the lake, and kind of like the Shauna and Jackie back and forth between the lake and the cabin. And then you have what I like to call the wandering wolf pack, which happened with those girls, because I want to get into a little more detail about them. But I want to start with like Nat, if that's okay with you.
With Nat?
Yeah, the close quarter cabins.
Oh, okay.
Nat and Travis, yeah, in the notes and stuff. So, yeah, I wanted to say like with Nat and Travis. So I really like this scene a lot, and maybe Travis might even get the MVP for me. I mean, he's honorable mention next to Jackie, but Nat really gets the MVP for me this episode, because she asked him to stay, and he says, "Okay, I'll stay." Like, not only that, he's agreeing into his sexist observations about having to go with her, but like it's just really cute how they come together here. And it's also really cute at the end how Nat during the heist is like literally just defending Travis and their connection. So you see the true connection forming here, and then you see at the end of the episode the connection, how impactful it is to Nat. And we'll talk about that during the heist later, but about adult Nat. But it was just so, I don't know. I just thought it was a beautiful moment. And also they have finally some alone time. They're getting the closed quarters, or the closed-less quarters. I don't know if you want to call it, but making jokes about Cindy Crawford, the meat shack. And of course, what's behind them is that deer. And we get a lot of deer symbolism here too, between her and Travis, the switch as well. And this could have been our first virgin sacrifice. Like, imagine, like the Jack.
But he didn't end up completing the task.
Maybe it's just because they aren't high on mushrooms. But the fact is that like, this could have been the real virgin sacrifice. It could have. Imagine if it was switched. Probably not.
That's not a virgin though. Like she had
Travis.
Good point. That's a good point. True. But yeah, I guess you know what? He didn't interesting. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Especially considering what happens later with him.
And what do you think, like, though, the white deer appearing to Nat after this, though? Because like the deer is not white pure yet, I don't know. It just could, because we're still seeing like the regular deer antler queen, like not quite the white deer symbolism that we get from her, like a lot of the white stuff. So
you mean the moose?
Yeah, I know, it's right behind her in this episode. They're standing and they keep showing the angles with the deer antlers behind them.
Oh
yeah,
I missed it.
I'm surprised you missed that.
Yeah, let me see. I've got a couple.
But yeah, it was really cute, and they're making fun of Coach Ben, and Coach Ben's the only one there. They're gonna hear him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Coach. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think.
But you don't hear him in the snow, do ya?
Let me see this one. You can kind of
see it up there too.
He does look super handsome. I'm sorry, but Travis is really handsome.
He was Yeah.
Are
He
these the
wasn't
moose
so
antlers you're
emotional.
talking about, though?
No, that's not it. There's actually
No?
like a deer head.
Oh,
No, a deer, yeah.
huh.
Not moose, but anyway,
Anyways, okay.
the
Well, yeah.
next crowd. Oh, you go ahead.
So, okay. So they have their little love affair situation. It was interesting, you know. I just think like Travis felt a lot of pressure to perform, I guess we might say, and that went, you know, got the best of him.
Me too.
It was funny. Again, I was watching with my husband last night, and when Natalie's like, "Can I help you with that?" Like when he's like trying to put on a condom, and he's like, "No, I got it," or whatever. And my husband's like, "Just let her help."
I felt bad for Nat because she's really trying and like nothing was good enough, you know, like, and she's wanting to make the moment special, but like I actually felt bad for Nat, but like it was so cute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was cute.
Well,
It was like, you know, these two, they have such an innocence to them, and I really enjoy it. And especially knowing how things go in the future, because in this episode, especially like in the adult timeline, like Natalie is really suffering. She's really heartbroken. She's really torn up over Travis. And we see that, like, and I love that in season 1, they spend a good amount of time really contrasting the innocence of their younger experiences before things got really like bad out there. There's this sweet innocence of them out hunting together and, you know, being the hunter and huntress. You know, it's Orion and Artemis, and it's really beautiful. And then in contrast to the older storyline where Travis has died and Natalie is extremely heartbroken, and they, you know, she's an ex-addict, and she, you know, it's such a dark contrast to like these light experiences, the light and innocence. And she's crying, she's mourning, she's in pain, she's, you know, trying to figure out what happened to Travis in the older storyline. And so, you know, you can really see like the connection. And even though Thaisa and Shauna both in the older timeline, they spend so much time like kind of hating on Natalie or saying, you know, her decisions or what have you. Like Shauna's like, you have to let her figure it out for herself and all of this. But it's like, no, like she just, I don't know. It's just,
well, I know exactly what you're trying to say. That's what I was trying to say for later with the heist, is that actual moment is what really makes Nat my MVP, because when they're giving shit to Nat in older version during the heist, they're just talking down the money wasn't good enough, this wasn't good enough, she's late. All they do is condescend and like really hate on Nat, and Nat's just like, okay, whatever, you know, like she's just not really saying much and she's letting them, and Nat's not really attacking back, but they're attacking Nat nonstop the entire heist, or they're together. And even here, or when she talks about Kevin Tan or whatever, they're just attacking. And Nat's quiet, she's calm, she just remains her regal queen, now that we know she's a queen. And she is triggered. You know, she's like, well, you know, I don't want to do this. We're not doing this for us. We're doing it for Travis. And we're not doing it for yourself. She's like, I don't care. She's like, really? You know, she just takes it until they mention Travis. Then she flips, and she doesn't go off on them. She's like, you know what? You guys say all this stuff about me, but you're just as worse as me. And I'm just, you know, I'm not hiding it. You're better at hiding it. And then she goes off and she stands up for herself, which she hadn't been doing. And then she also says, I know Travis, and Travis didn't do this. And then they're so quick to say, oh, he probably killed himself, or oh, he did this, or he has problems. Now you have problems. You have drugs. You have this. You know, everybody has the problem, but she sees the heart of the matter. She's the golden heart in this episode. She is that queen, the true queen. And like that scene, standing up for him the way she did, and then she calls them out. She's the voice of truth, honestly. The voice of reason and the voice of truth the entire season. We don't even understand it until we see her become queen in season 2, but like she really did have the voice, but no one listens. And clearly they don't want to because they're just worried about themselves or how they don't want to be involved with her.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you're no better. You're no better.
I agree 100%. Like, I love that scene of her calling them out because, you know, it goes back to like I think in like episode 1 or something, Shauna and Ty, they're sitting there in the diner and she's like, well, as long as nobody does anything crazy, then we're fine. And I laugh so hard every time I see that scene because I'm like, the two most unhinged characters are sitting here saying, well, as long as no one does anything crazy, then we should be fine. Like, they're concerned about what everyone else is doing. Meanwhile, these two are the absolute most unhinged characters by far in the adult timeline. And
all Natalie, they do is self-project.
Natalie is correct when she says, yeah, she's, you know, you guys are living on the brink just like me. You're just better at hiding it. And that's one thing that's so wonderful about Natalie is like she never really like reigned in her wilderness. She sort of lived in it. And yeah, it was like a dangerous lifestyle. And, you know, she doesn't have much to show for it or anything like that. But she never denied who she is or like what she's about versus these two who just kind of are always living with a front. And
yeah,
even in this scene where they're sitting there sort of having a compassionate conversation, which, yes, I love what you say. Like, we don't even realize Natalie is the queen at this point in time, but there's still this thing where Taissa pays for her rehab and, you know, they kind of hold her, like they take care of her. They don't just reject her or let her fall away because of her addictions and that kind of thing, the way like you would presume that a politician is not, or a housewife is not going to be friends with an addict who runs around and like ODs all the time. And so but when they're sitting there having this compassionate conversation and Ty's like, who does Natalie have, you know, and she only had Travis and now she has less is what Ty says. And I love it because they are really like being compassionate. And these two, they also, Ty and Shauna, they also like are the only people that really let them see in behind that. Like they really share their secrets. Yeah. But I love it because like then 5 seconds later, Nat gets in the car. They've been waiting for her and Ty turns it off instantly. And she's like, where the F have you been? And all this stuff. And it's just like, it's so interesting the way that they,
well, they self-project.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not self-aware. That's the problem. And you know, it's funny. I was watching Mulan with my son last night, and where it talks about the new one where she's confronted by the witch, and she says, "You're lying. Who are you really?" And it just made me think of this actual scene. And then when she finally accepts who she is really, which is season 2, what Nat does. Nat says, you know what? I know what I need to do. I need to go. And it's just, that's the healing process. And that's what it is. And that's, you know, narcissists they don't look at outside of anyone but other people and blaming, and instead of accepting and loving. And it is interesting though that they pay, but I think it's more of a guilt trip thing. I don't think it's because they care. Because if they cared, they wouldn't be so condescending. They wouldn't say these things that they say. And they say some nasty things to her the whole time. And they talk some nasty stuff. And like, you know, and even when Nat brings up that she's dating someone and Kevin Tan, they were like, what? You know, like making fun. And then, you know, even you can see their self-projections through that because Shauna's like, oh, kids, isn't that problematic? Of course, Shauna would say that she doesn't even like her own kid. You know, she thinks kids are problematic. And then, you know, Taissa's like, well, you know, it's just
Taissa, when Natalie goes to take her car, she goes,
driving.
No, she goes, yeah, well, the driving, but she also says, that's my baby. Meanwhile, her real child, Sammy, she's been tormenting like literally the episode opens with her sitting at the bottom of the tree like with a bite on her hand. She's been fighting the dog. She's covered in mud and she's got it all in her teeth and everything. It's like yeah, anyways, I that one stuck out to me. I'm like, you're gonna call your car your baby, meanwhile you're literally like torturing your actual baby, your actual son. Like this is so
and when you really start to pay attention to what I'm saying is that like they do really, all their words are self-projections, things that they're feeling inside. Even like Shauna to Adam, well, you're just mad because you're not in control. Like, it's, and I was like, what? No, you're wrong. Like, Gab's control. But like, it's just, what was the other thing that was said? Oh, about the driving though, because we've mentioned times about Taissa and how Taissa's in the driver's seat. The narcissist likes to be in the driver's seat. And when Taissa keeps running out of gas, she's constantly driving. But when she's not driving is when bad things happen to her, or she alter flips, or they get into an accident, or like when she is. And the gaslighting aspect, if you know about narcissism and covert narcissism, which is what Taissa and Shauna, honestly, I've said this before, they're dark triads, they're psychopathic narcissists, and like they're the worst of the worst, but they don't even know it. Like they can't help it, like they have been child traumally abused, their frontal lobes are undeveloped, but there's these behaviors that they do, which are lying, and they lie so much they dissociate and they can't even remember what they do, and they lie to themselves. Most of all, they lie to themselves or put other people's down. You're either black or white. You're either good or bad when it comes to that kind of person and how their brain and mental thinking things. Like, there's no gray area. If you mess up, I'm better than you, period. And that's how they treat them. And that shows in their treating of other people. That shows in their treating of Jackie. It shows in their treating of everybody that they treat with this dark triad kind of complexities. And yeah, it's just very, again, self-projecting.
It's like these women who have the
power,
darkest demons, like, because even at their young age, they display these tendencies, these demons, these inner demons within. They're the ones that survive.
Yeah.
And that,
because
there's something to that also.
So leadway, let's go back to this scene and in the younger timeline, because but I felt like all that was relevant to what we're talking about. So we're trying to stay in the 96 timeline, then we go to the adults. But so the younger things, I love this episode because Jackie calls her out right then and there. Shauna, I know you're lying. I can tell. And this is worse than in 5th grade or something, when you lied about your dad being the maker of this and that. And like, she just talks about these absurd lies that Shauna has always said and done all of her life. And then we see her making the lie as she goes. Like everything she does, everything she says is another lie on top of a lie on top of a lie. And like, that's what they say about covert narcissists. They are people of the lie. And it's such a sad life. And again, they lie so much, they lie to themselves and they don't even know what's true. And I think that's part of what the journals are about, so she can remember what is true.
Good point.
Because it's so messed up. And then we see Jackie at the end reading the journal, which is, by the way, the red journal. And if you follow the stream, I'm huge into Carl Jung, and I think Shauna's books will be like Carl Jung and her transformation from the dark shadow to herself. But this was the red journal. But I don't know if that's the same, but it just kind of got me going. But she sees, we see Jackie reading the real truth after all these lies this whole episode that Shauna gave. And Jackie was like just there. She was caring. She was like wanted to know all the details. She's like, I'm gonna be here for you. And then she started catching in her lie.
We're gonna get through this together. Yeah, it's super sad. So it's interesting because Jackie knows, she can tell, like, her best friend is lying to her about something and she doesn't really know what yet. And so she confronts her. And I love this scene of her confronting her. They're in in the little like closet room. Yeah, they're in the closet. It's always in Shauna's closet.
And Adam in closet too.
Yeah.
The closet stuff is a lot. Yeah.
There's definitely some
they went from
closetness going on.
They went from the closet to like the forest. So there's some symbolism behind that too. But like in the forest, Jackie's like in the light and Shauna's in the dark because Jackie's so like angelic. But she had a heart of gold and she was angelic and she was caring and she was like, she cared. She cared.
She did. She's really kind to her. And Shauna lies and she says it was Randy.
Love child of Randy Walsh.
I frigged up. I banged Lucy and knocked her up. No big deal. Anyway, but no, it wasn't Randy. It was Jeff. We all know. So, And Shauna has this written, in her notebooks. And it's interesting because we see that moment because earlier in the episode with Javi, and he's like trying to find the knife to borrow. And so that's when Shauna actually decides she's going to start hiding her journals up in the rafters. And so it's interesting that like Jackie found the journals after that too. It's like she just started hiding the journals, but somehow Jackie like figured out where.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they watch and she knows her like the back of her thumb. They're like best friends, they're lovers. They're in love. They've been in love.
Yeah,
And Jackie is Shauna's like, okay, so Jackie has that codependency issue because of her narcissistic mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like she was raised as a golden child. So in that scene where she's sitting in the sun raised and she's like the golden child and she's wearing like the yellow gold. She's very just, angelic. And she was just that character growing up and doing. So this is just natural golden hearted Jackie. Like this is what she did. This is her role. This is how her mother raised her to be.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really how she cares. And yeah, she doesn't realize some of her stuff seems selfish from a first glance perspective, but like she's the only child and she's, from a rich family who gets smothered. Mm-hmm. And Shauna is the opposite.
Yeah, and she's always looking after Shauna. Like she's always taking care of her or providing for her because, Shauna's the like, oh, does the sad little sidekick, feel bad? Yeah, that's how
my God. Her. I just had
but there is like this idea, there's a lot of people who talk about if Jackie is a mean girl per se, like is she a mean girl? And I think this scene really like encompasses all of that. Like she's not a mean girl. Jackie's not a mean girl. She loves Shauna. Yeah, they have their differences and they have their like dynamic with each other. But neither one of them is in control over like the fact that Jackie comes from a wealthy family with two parents and she's the spoiled only child versus Shauna comes from a divorced, broken family and, they're not as wealthy and she lives, just with her mom. And it doesn't seem like her mom really like cares that much, from kind of what we get. That's not in either of their control. That's just who they are and they became friends regardless of that. And so I don't think that Jackie is a mean girl. I don't think she's trying to be friends with Shauna just to make Shauna like feel better or feel like she's like replacing her with her presence. She really loves her. She's really her friend. We're gonna get people together.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I don't even know how people can say that though about her. I can see that about Lottie, but Jackie, like, I mean, literally from the episode 1, we're like, guys, we're a team, get it together. Why do I choose you? And then she's doing Misty's makeup. She's doing the Allie's makeup. Like the thing is with Jackie, she's a doll. She's a baby doll, and she's been treated like a baby doll her whole life, which is why we see all these makeup scenes and the makeup stuff. Because she's a doll. She's this perfect poised doll that she was trained and taught to be by her mother. And now she's showing love. This is all she knows how to do. And it's the same opposite ends of the spectrum with like people who are covert narcissists or like, my husband, which I brought him up before, like his, he did the only love they know how to do is like what they do. And that's Shauna's love that she lacked. So she thinks that that's love, the things that she does, like cooking and feeding and eating, like feeding and sacrificing. That's the love I know. And then she doesn't really know that like love has boundaries. Love has more than that. Love has a voice of your own where you're authentically loved and appreciated for what all of that is and more. Like love is not basic needs as like we're going up in the hierarchy, but like Jackie's basic needs, she never had to think about basic needs. She had to think about the extra. But I think that like she's always been that girl to help, and she now treats Shauna like a mother. Like, I mean, not like Shauna's the mother. Jackie's like Shauna's mother in a sense. Like Jackie treats her like her mom treats her. She wants to spoil her. Shauna's a kid to Jackie or like a doll. So that's why Shauna, I think, probably carries that trauma into her motherhood with her child.
And probably why she kind of resents that.
Why she's still a kid? Why she's jerking off to high school boys and stuff like that? How old? Why she still is a child in her, and but also it goes all back to the whole mental development thing with covert and narcissism and things like that. But it really is deeper than you think. And for anyone to say Jackie's a mean girl. Like, Jackie's got the heart of gold, and that is literally what we're saying. But the heart of gold is not a true heart. It is an embellishment, a makeup, not the heart within. It's a heart of gold that she can just take off and on when she wants, because she's a doll, a dress. But she does have a heart of gold, in a sense, an innocence.
Yeah, Jackie like sees the best in people. She wants to see the best in people. And she
loves them.
She looks at the glass half full. Like, she's just one of those like positive people. And that's why she has influence. She's the guide, the guide to them. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. But unfortunately she reads the journals, and this is like really a sad, heartbreaking scene of her by herself. And it's all like interspliced with Shauna and Shauna's secrets and her little relationship. Well, like Javi carves the wolf for her. Like, there's so many weird kind of synchronicities that happen through this episode. So Javi carves the wolf for Shauna. Shauna's like, oh, happy about the wolf. And then meanwhile, in the adult timeline, she's sneaking around with this sort of Javi character, which is Adam. But also the wolf later is attacking Van. And Thaisa, it's interwoven with her characterization because her like alter personalities, her like goddess symbolism with Hecate, and like the dogs and all of that's interwoven with that. And so there's a lot of layers to this episode, just in those little details right there.
Wait, you put it down. Remember when your parents were getting divorced because you said your dad wouldn't be around as much because he got a new job as president of Hello Kitty?
Yeah. That's what Jackie says to Shauna. I love it.
But like, also, I just want to point out, Jackie's like, when did you stop wanting me? Like, she's worried about what Shauna thinks. Jackie blames herself. She doesn't blame Shauna. She blames herself.
You know what? I want to go back to what you were saying before about what she's writing in the journal. I remember I wrote something here. Okay. So Shauna writing in the journal and her memories of what she's writing down and that kind of thing, or like trying to keep track of her lies, is what you said, which I think is a really great point because they're so deep. And yeah, she's probably got to like take notes on her own.
Why would you write down some of that stuff? Like, I would never write any down anyway.
No, when somebody else could potentially read it, yeah, it is kind of weird. But I had this thought because I was rewatching the first episode, and Thaisa says to Shauna, she says, did you black out at state, when they're talking about Allie and like Allie's performance basically and why they should try and freeze her out or whatever. And Ty says, did you black out at state? And then I was thinking about it, how like in season 2, when the adults all come back together and they're at Lottie's compound, Shauna says something like, well, if there's something out there that I have blocked out or if that I can't remember, then I just don't even want to know. And so I had this thought that like, do you think Shauna has like memories blocked out?
Yes.
Do you think she has trouble? Like, what does it, because they kind of really reflect on that in that episode. They're like, well, what do you remember? What do you not remember? Kind of thing. It's like, you're not going to know what you don't remember, but like, it's interesting to consider like what things Shauna might have blocked out and how that could come into the story later.
Yeah. So with this, this is a yes is the answer. Yes, 100% yes. Because especially with narcissists and trauma in general, we block out as humans. We forget a lot about what we do all the time, but we associate through pictures, through words, through smells, through our senses, through everything, through moments where we feel like, there's with complex PTSD, you get triggered by anything or you block out. And then this is the thing about dark triads and the narcissist, psychopath, sociopath. so most of the time they're like covert narcissists or they're narcissists behind the lines, and they can flip to psychopath. But when they do, there's this thing called like the black eyes, and some of them don't remember. They do a disassociate. They'll black out, or they'll get completely controlled by the psychopathic sides of them. Actually, you see this in Cruella de Vil. And if you saw the movie Cruella, where she starts like going, I could kill her, whatever. But like you see the psychopath coming out, and Thaisa at the end. And Thaisa, again, they're projecting. It's so funny that comment came from Thaisa with, oh, what did you black out? Because that is such a self-projecting comment of her, because she blacks out. But I do actually believe that Shauna does it. I think that she does it on purpose. Some of the stuff like Van too, but like Van's more of the codependent abuse type from Thaisa, but that's called narcissistic fleas. When the narcissist and codependent come together, they become literally one. And then to break that bond, it's trauma bonding 101. And you get fleas, you become the other person. And some people have to literally become like the narcissist to overpower them, to break that trauma abuse. And it gets nasty and ugly. And I will admit it. I'll admit it. I had to do it. Like the reason I know so much and I speak with authority on this issue is because I did that, because I spent years with my mother, narcissist. And then I broke that bond and I ended up with a covert narcissist, and I ended up not being heard in my voice. And that's why I ended up being mean. Like I was a mean, vile person, and I'm saying things that I'm ashamed of, but I'm aware of it, and I'm blaming myself, not him. I mean, yes, it triggered, but you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just going to share this because it really is something that happens in a lot of these relationships. And if you're not in this kind of relationship, like, it really is hard to explain. It's real, true abuse in so many ways. And a lot of it is with words. Words have the same emotional trauma that you have as if someone punched you in the face. Something nasty that someone says to you. Or like when you have a feeling or you trust somebody like Jackie, Shauna, your best friend, how could she do that? But when you find that is like really life-changing. And it is, so it is a lot, and so I see this here.
I'll tell you, and I haven't been to like, but this scene with Shauna and Jackie where they're in the closet and Jackie's like, you're obviously hiding something and it's making me feel crazy. And she tries to like move the ladder. She can't move the ladder. I'm telling you, like I've felt that feeling with my narcissist best friend who, and I like to pretend
you can't get out.
I like to pretend I am so much like Shauna, but like I have been Jackie, to where you're fully victimized. This other person has so much going on inside of their head and they're so filled with lies that you are so caught off guard and you don't understand, because it's somebody that you really love, that was your best friend, that you're like, wait, why are you lying to me? What did I do? Why are you treating me like, you're literally making me feel crazy. You are making me insane. And you lash out, you act mean, you act crazy because they make you get to that point. You get to that point where you feel insane, where you're like, nothing makes sense, nothing aligns, nothing is real. I thought you were my friend. I thought you loved me. I love you. I have all the love in the world for you, but how could you do this to me? And it's like, it's a really
cognitive dissonance is the word.
Yeah. It's so confusing. It's so like, it causes even now, damage. Even to this day, like even now, I'm still affected by like that sort of torment that she did to me. And it was like, what did I like? I've only come at you with love. There's no reason for any of that. And so it is a really like, I can feel for Jackie. I like to pretend I'm Shauna. I like to pretend I'm the tough, like person or whatever, but really like, I don't think I ever could be Shauna truly deep down, because she does have a lot of evilness within her and evil tendencies. And, sorry to kind of go off
selfish.
But somebody pointed out in the comments of
lack of
one of my videos this week, and I'm not going to bother trying to pull it up, but they said something to the effect, it was in the Callie video that I did, where they said that something like they think that Callie is actually the next Queen of Hearts. It's not Shauna, but it's actually Callie.
Yeah.
And
We talked about that.
That was shown, like, because Nat, we see Nat is the Queen of Hearts. You know, the wilderness chooses her because Nat is selfless. Nat's actions, her taking life, her killing, is,
and Javi too,
to feed the rest of the group. It's to help the rest of the group, to nourish them, to take care of them. It's a selfless act, even though it's a difficult act. Like, not all of those girls are motivated or can even fathom going out and being a hunter. And, you know, but they'll eat what she brings back. So she's providing for them already, which puts her in that position as the provider. Well, when we see Callie, when she goes out with the gun and those women are coming after her mother, she's selfless and in defense of her mother. No questions asked. She has a gun. She's like, I will kill any of you. And it's a selfless act. And similarly to Natalie. And so I thought it was really interesting.
That's the Jeff in her.
because Shauna would never do such a selfless thing. Shauna's not that selfless. None of the actions that she's ever done are anywhere near that selfless that Callie portrayed right then, or that Nat has ever portrayed. Shauna's not that person. And so I find it really interesting that she drew the Queen of Hearts card, but I don't think it's actually her. I think it's meant to be for Callie, and Callie is her child. It's the next generation. So I really think there's something to that they're gonna like explore in the future of the show.
Well, I don't think the Queen of Hearts necessarily means you're the queen. It means you're on the pedestal. Now, do you remain on the pedestal or do you get eaten? Yeah, you know, your sacrifices can be like Javi. It means that you're up for nomination or something. But I don't really, but I do think that's an interesting comment. I think that it is great to see that Callie being selfless, but in a sense, though, I have to disagree, because I feel like, I mean, yes and no, it can be, but when I think deeper about that, when Callie lied to the police, when Callie got in that, Mom, did I do it like I did it like you? Mom, am I connecting? She feels a connection with her mother that she's never felt her whole life. And so now she's feeling that, but yet her father is the one kind of imposing all these things. Is Mom gonna be okay? Yeah. And her father, Jeff, is just like so supporting in that fact. And you know, Kelly's in a thin line right now. And I think she's going to go crazy during season 2, because she's going to get that power. She did have the power, and her coming up like that was more about, that's my mom, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. You're right.
Yeah. But I there's something to, like, the wilderness appreciates these women for their selflessness, but also their ability or their willingness to, like, shed blood or just do what's necessary, I guess you might say. Not being hesitant, not being restricted by like societal rules and that kind of thing.
Well, let's talk about the fact that they're like in we all are one. Okay, we all are part of this ecosystem. We all are supposed to not be selfish. We're created, man and woman, to appease each other. We're not supposed to be selfish. We're supposed to be codependent. We're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to live in societies as a norm, work together as a society. We all have, this is why Adam is so important, because Adam is like the creator. God created Adam first, and then Adam is the creator mode in all of us, and he works with his hands. He's an artist. He's a true artist. He's a regular everyday man, which every person has this in them. You have all the ability, all the worth. Everything you are right now as you are is perfect, and it's meant to be, and it's supposed to be. You don't need to try to be like everyone else. You don't need to be selfish. You are meant to have a greater connection and change people and make people grow. And we all are supposed to have our own unique thing to add to the table, which is why the Yellowjackets and the soccer team is so important, because every player has a unique role to the team. And that's what it's about. And when you start playing one-on-one, and when you start playing for only you never win. Like what basketball player? I mean, even LeBron James. I mean, he plays with the team, and you know he can be the greatest thing. But like any player, you know, even Pele, like anybody, whether you're talking soccer, whatever sport, you need to have your team. And this is the problem. I think this is what it's about to be. And it happens, from Bible, from Cain and Abel, when, you start helping each other and then you get jealous and envious when you think these thoughts are demonic stuff. And there's, to me, there's a lot of demonic, prowess. Demons are prowling everywhere in Yellowjackets, right? But it all goes back to, are you a self-serving, satanic, whatever? Are you a Adam, God-like image? You're not God. Okay, you're not a God. You're like an image to create a greater image of one wholeness entity, one undefinable space, undefinable team, undefinable realm, that we are all connected and we work as one. And you see in season 2, when the Yellowjackets start working together, they start getting things done. And the more they stop working together, the more, or hurt each other, the more they're going to go. And yeah, they don't even want to play soccer and be on the team. Everyone's selfish. And then that's season 1, season 2 too. And season 3, I think it's going to get worse, but they're going to have no choice but to form packs. And I think the packs are going to be even worse. But yeah, I went on a rant. Sorry, y'all. Like, I get so into this. I think you're muted, Aaron.
Sorry.
I get so into this creative God-like entities we are. Adam, and he was given Eve. We are all given a partner, and we're supposed to be with each other. And it's when you devour and be a predator and completely devour your codependent, or are you actually codependent? Spearing, are you yin and yang? Are you the snake eating its own tail, or are you like two snakes and going up and healing? Like,
yeah, the Ouroboros
Yeah.
or the Kundalini. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's interesting.
And then we have it here in our, like, that's why I love Adam. And I love, before you used to say that the Adam is the everyday man, and I was like, well, where's Hobby? But no, I actually agree with you, because he was, and he used this art and he did it. And that's funny to me, because later on Shauna manipulates his art and ruins it, because that's what that's what Satan does, is he manipulates. God creates, Satan manipulates other creations. And that's just like in any, you want to transform it in religion and names, whatever. But that's kind of like the powers in the creation. The evil manipulates. Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, it's a lot. I'm rediscovering myself through my cognitive dissonance and years of being pushed down, losing my voice. And now I'm singing. That was terrible. But anyway, whatever. I'm singing. I'm finding my voice again, all right? And I'm also finding my creation again. And let me tell you, when you start finding it from your heart, and when you speak your truth, not the truth you're told to speak, like Nat, when you speak your true truth and you say, you know what, you're not better than me. You're the same. We're just a little different. But I'm still as fucked up as you. But we all are, and that's the point. And it's just about loving and understanding and trying to help go forward, not battle and kill.
I don't know if this is picking up. I was putting on some background music for you.
Oh yeah. Mandy Mayhem monologue. Okay, there you go.
I don't know if it was picking up or not. Okay.
I hope this reaches the right person who needed to hear this. You are fearfully, wonderfully made, and we all have our purpose. And thank you. Mute. Mandy muted.
No, and on that note, Lottie is doing the same. Like, Lottie is finding her voice, especially after she's she's basically off of her meds now, and she's really like in tune with energy, and everyone's recognizing that for her. And it's interesting because there's this scene where they're all kind of gathered together. Thaisa saying, I'm going, to go out. I'm going to, and anyone that wants to come with me is welcome to. And they look to Lottie and they're like, Lottie, what do you think about that? And she just says she doesn't know. And then later, she's talking with Laura Lee, and she's like, well, what if they're wrong to go out there? And it's just kind of like this interesting thing. Like, Lottie is kind of like she's the compass. I was just about to say, the moral compass. They're looking to her for direction. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know what's the right choice. She's still learning to find her voice. And so it's funny because as Thaisa and her group, they're out walking, they're talking about Lottie, and they say something to the effect of like, Lottie, she what did she say? She predicted who would be prom king and queen.
Yeah.
And she also uh she knew about the whole Mr. Jenkins scandal. So we can see like Lottie did have, and somebody made a comment on one of my videos recently where they were like, well, no, you can't say like Lottie's abilities were like affected by her medication. It either has to be mental, it has to be a mental condition, or it has to be her like
Wrong.
having psychic abilities. And I'm like, no, that's absolutely 1,000,000% not true.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, most psychics or most mental. Actually, let's talk about the spirit realm. Most of the people who begin to see in the spirit realm are prophetic visions with the Bible, and I produce Lottie with the Bible all the time with Jezebel type prophet, or religious prophets. Like, she has visions and she has dreams, and some of them come true, some of them don't, but she's being called from the spirit realm. The mark on her forehead, mark it came, I think there's also being a mark by being marked by God, or mark by, mark of the prophet on the forehead. There's also prophetic screaming where you start screaming because you're getting to be able to see in the prophetic, or see in the, sorry, I'll keep it out the prophet, but you're seeing the spirit realm. So when you talk about spirit realms, whether it be Native American, Bible, whatever you want to do, spirit realms, there are other realms and things. The unseen is everything. And when you realize that there's more unseen than seen, when you start to see the unseen, and even in literature, even when in scenes, even when you're citizen detecting, no, she's starting to see the unseen. And what happens is these pills for schizophrenia and things like that, they block those inhibitors of your brain. And like, you see it in psychics, you see it in a lot of prophets, that these neurons in their brain start to spike, and schizophrenia patients. And Carl Jung talked a lot about it too. And Carl Jung was one of the first types of people to actually accept and say and argue scientifically about mystic realms, and people like Lottie, specifically schizophrenics. And I think that, yeah, definitely not true. And for you to even label anything as this right or wrong, like, you're in the wrong channel, because everything's right and everything's wrong, and it's gray. There's no right. Well, even though I said that was wrong, but like, you have to be open-minded, because I mean, it's unspeakable. It's unspeakable what is possible.
The medications that she was on are meant to suppress those sort of like, those spikes and to regulate her, right? So of course it's going to suppress her abilities that are seeing things beyond. I mean, there, a lot of people talk about when they're coming off of SSRIs and that kind of thing, they're all fuzzy, or even drugs like lithium. I can't remember exactly
mushrooms,
what
LSD, acid.
Yeah, that stuff like like it melts your brain, it reprograms your brain. So her having like effects from that, it's gonna take time for her to cleanse those medications out of her body. But her in her natural like state, she has a gift, she has an ability, she has a prophetic ability that is trying to connect her to her surroundings and to nature. And her whole life she's been told that that's wrong, because her dad didn't want to hear it, and because he's so closed off to those ideas. But her mother was like, we need to like accept that there are things in this world that we can't always explain, and Lottie is clearly connected to that. And so from her dad, she was taught that that's a bad thing, but it's really a gift that she has. And she's trying to navigate it, try to figure it out, no compass, literally.
Same with no compass. Same with Thaisa though, and like, the gift of sight, and like shamans. This is a shamanistic gift, and like literally, I believe it runs in my family. I stopped doing my meds, and I've talked about this before. People have made comments in our section about me saying that I've been healing my tumor and my cancer by stopping. I was on chemotherapy for 8 years, y'all. And I stopped doing meds about 2 years ago, when actually I had a stroke from the cognitive deficits and the years of confusion, and realizing my whole life was a lie or I was lied to about my life and my things, and everything was blew up like Jackie's did or whatever. I had a stroke, you all, like an actual stroke. And I my mind went crazy. It went a little out, but I was like hearing and seeing things. I felt like there were bugs on me. They were like, you have schizophrenia. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I've been there, but maybe, who knows? We'll find out. But either way, I'm telling you, like, I started to heal. I started doing things. I started doing, I don't do drugs. I don't do any chemo. I'm very clean. And I have been connecting, opening my pineal gland. I do meditations. I do vibrational sound healing therapies, things that actually play with your rhythm and magnetation of your body. And I'm going to tell you, my tumor has shrunk. It's 1/3 the size of what it was. And I've healed, and I never felt better. And I feel good, and I feel I connect to the spirit realm. Actually, I feel very connected to the spirit realm, and I'm not afraid of it. There are things to be afraid of. But, I know where my authority lies. So I'm just going to leave that there. For those of you who know, you know.
Well, but, people don't like to hear that. And unfortunately, I'm sorry if you guys are listening in. And obviously, it's a very real thing. Some things do require medical intervention. And I'm not here to say what's right or what's wrong. My father died of cancer. So I can't sit here but I'm not sitting here saying, Mandy, you're wrong for saying this work for your body and this doesn't work, or what you should do. No, do what you feel is right for your own body. And this is in Mandy's experience, this is what has worked for her. And a lot
of it's mind over matter.
Anyways, don't be afraid to question the system.
And everybody's different, and my stuff is different. And I've dealt with a lot of crazy things. And let me tell you, my stroke, I healed from it, like miraculously healed from it. That's why I've told you all before, like the shamanistic stuff. I have shamans in my family, in my bloodline too. And it scared me because all of a sudden I started to see things, or not, a whole lot, but I'm just noticing things that are more in a people. I can tell a person, I can say narcissist, or I can see this, or I can do that. But it's also, I've been getting into the knowledge. I've been understanding. I'm aware of these things now. The difference between, am I a pharaoh person? No, I have some upbringing. I'm not basic needs anymore. I am reaching higher pyramids of my life. Okay. So, but I'll tell you, once you become aware of the spirit realm, or start seeing or looking, or start being even open to it, through pineal gland activation, through third eye activation, I did all these things. And now I'm whoo, it's really something you have to work on. I spend 3 hours a day meditating, praying, even calling the Holy Spirit. And I'll tell you, I feel euphoric and high sometimes with no drugs, nothing. And I feel like I'm on the best mushrooms of my life. And it's crazy. And then there were times when I had my stroke. It was like a Kundalini activation. I had these bright lights going on I would close my eyes, but it was literally a light show. It's another realm that you have to slowly open up to. And I was scared of it. I didn't even recognize it. But now that I'm accepting it and recognizing it and being open, things are opening. Are you open or are you closed? Are you willing to flow? Is your water flowing, or is it frozen?
Red rivers,
or is it bloody?
Yeah.
I think that, let's go back to the river. I think this was just because of Blood Hive. Where are they throwing out their secondary pots? Okay.
Very good point. I mean, what do we think so what does the Red River, sorry, we're on a tangent, but anyway, so we're coming back. So Lottie, our prophet, she has the deer vertebrae that she finds, and it's unburned. This was their rotting deer that came back with the maggots and all of that, and they burned the carcass, and then Lottie discovered that one of the vertebrae was unburned, so she pulled that out of there. And she feels like this is a she feels like it's a good omen. I don't know, is it a good omen? I think so.
Yeah. Aaron sends me I found a new skull on my wilderness walk today. I'm oh,
I got so many bones around me all the time. I have hella bones. I had a whole collection of these vertebrae, and I was gonna make little van necklaces and send them to my patrons. But I can't find them all. I can't find all my deer vertebrae. Dang it! But my husband is gonna go hunting this weekend. He's going out for a few days, so hopefully he'll bring me back some vertebrae. These are the things I ask for. Don't bring me home flowers. Don't bring me home chocolate. Don't bring me home a dress from Saks Fifth Avenue, Jeffrey. I want bones. So
I won't even touch them. I'm like,
oh, I love it. I love bones. They feel so good. And I love like cleaning them and like working with them. They're just beautiful.
I like Saks Fifth Avenue dresses.
I like searching for them, actually. Like, I like to drive around on the island, and especially in the springtime after the snow has melted away, because in the winter, all the kind of like flesh and disgustingness, it gets, sort of eaten away by the earth, right? So then in the spring, after the snow is gone, I'll go out and I'll be like searching around. I found a raven skull. I have a little raven skull, which actually,
you're so cute when you like she and I talk quite frequently, except for this past month because I've been everywhere. But she's always like telling me about it, and she's so excited. Like, you saw the bears? Yeah, I was gonna go to that next.
Oh yeah, there's lots of bears here, my dear friend.
Aaron starts to yell at them out the door.
Well, they broke my.
That's exactly what you don't do, Aaron.
They vandalized my van, my Shauna van. I'm not joking, you guys. So the bears, because literally behind our house is just woods. Like, we live in an awesome neighborhood where it's just woods behind us. So you can go out and it's a muskeg back behind us, and you can just go hiking, which actually I spent a good amount of time over the summer just out there like picking berries before I realized that's totally like the bears highway. So I'm just out there like probably with bears everywhere around me, listening to Tori Amos, just like, I'm picking berries, whatever.
That's why there were no berries in those bushes.
There were a lot. I was very
figured
surprised.
It out. No, in Yellowjackets.
That's because they come and eat my freaking trash. Anyways.
But also, like, in the scene with Yellowjackets where they're looking for berries and they can't find them, or they find just a few.
There are no moose here on my island, unfortunately. Yeah. But you can go to well, there's some nearby spots where you can go find moose, but yeah, children praying to trees, yeah, or like faces in the trees. No, I actually do have a stump out in the muskeg that reminds me a lot of like Lottie's like prayer stump. So I'll go out there and I'll like leave little offerings on it and stuff.
Yeah. Aaron's
guys, I'm perfectly normal here. It's perfectly normal.
No, you're one of a kind. That's a lie. There's nothing except extraordinary from you. So
I'm trying
extraordinary.
Listen, you know what? All right, Ashley and Bart and Jonathan and everyone else, I live very close to Vancouver, BC. So if you guys need a little weekend away, you want to come out to an island, don't worry. It's very civilized here. We have a town. There's bakeries. There's coffee. There's restaurants. There's hotels here, Airbnbs. But if you need to take a little break away from Yellowjackets filming, come here. Come here and see me, and I will host you, and we will have so much fun. Okay.
We have talked about it though, about doing it like, or a fan, or like if you're a patron of the channel or whatever, like we can get a group of us together, and I'm down for it. And we do some Alaska, or we do some Canada thing, and I'm super down. Aaron's down. We've talked about it. Maybe we should make like a VIP Yellowjackets, what's it called? Con?
I want to, like, my wildest dream is to have like a wilderness retreat camp here. Yeah, con here, where like, just the Yellowjackets fandom or whatever, they come here and like we do like I don't know, a festival. Like Mandy and I are both,
we've talked about it,
professional experience in event planning and organizing. So I mean, hey,
I've been doing events for 35 years.
I've been doing events since before I was born. No, seriously, but I've been.
Well, I'm 30.
I've done corporate events for like hundreds of people, but I would rather do a wilderness retreat camp where everyone comes here and we can go like pick berries and fight bears.
Doom coming is coming.
Yes, Doom coming in Alaska. What up?
Since we were talking about Ashley and Bart, let's just Just throw it out there. Since the writing things, director Eva Skorhag, written by Ashley Bart and Catherine Kearns. Co-executive producers of this episode, Liz Fang, Jamie Travis, and Ameni Rosa. And I probably forgot one or two because I try to write them down as they go so fast. And I can't stop singing the theme song.
So I think we've mostly got things like, so Lottie gave the bone. She's having prophetic, stuff going on. Then her dreams come true. So they find the Red River, or the River of Blood, or what have you. Now, I don't know what the right choice would be.
Iron.
Like,
I think it's iron.
Well, yeah, I think it's iron or some sort of like chemical runoff that's happening here, which could be affecting, like later we see with the birds losing their or maybe like why there's no animals nearby, and that kind of thing. Or maybe affecting them psychologically, the girls, as they're more and more exposed to like that ground runoff, because there were, like, we talked about this going back to season 2, but how there has been a lot of mining and things like that in this area, and so there are mineral runoffs which are very unsafe, which is why they don't tend to do a lot of mining now in more modern times, because they find like these mineral runoffs are very damaging to the land. They don't dissipate for like a very, very long time. So it's not good. It's not good for the land. It's not good for the animals. It's not good for the people that are mining it or living nearby it, or the fish that are running in these rivers and are ultimately poisoned. And then communities that are nearby, indigenous communities, are unable to eat the food that is local to their, their indigenous lands. But
not all of it, though. I mean, I grew up in this small town called Bessemer, Michigan, and it's in the Iron Mountains. It's literally the Iron Mountain Range, and it is like that. I mean, it's not bright red rivers like that, but the soil is red, and it's from iron deposits, and there are iron mines. But like, there's plenty of fish, and there's plenty of stuff around it. It's just, I think this is a saturated area. But like,
well,
also,
if you can eat those things, but if you have too much of it in your diet, then it can have effects on you. It's just like if you're eating, you can't eat tuna every single day of your life because it's high in mercury, right? So you can't have that much mercury in your body, otherwise you like die. So, so you have to like change it up. Yeah. Even in our oceans, they're so overrun with chemicals from this kind of stuff, that a lot of fish are affected by it. That wouldn't have been in historical times, like even the salmon and that kind of thing. But
you really can't eat anything without anything in it anymore. Like even when you
have microplastics,
like
and
acid rain, and I don't know, just it's hard to escape anything anywhere. And even the microplastics. Ugh.
Yeah, and so a lot of that is due to mining projects, or unregulated, or even doing it before they knew what sort of effects it's going to have. So it's interesting to contemplate if this might be something that what the Red River represents. Now the other idea is
biblical plague.
I mean, if you're like in a survival,
opening of hell,
if you're in a survival situation and you find, like, if you're trying to get out, like, you should follow the river, right? Follow the creek down. It's going to take you down. It flows down. These come from like a glacial, deposit, a glacier at the top of a mountain that flows down. This is how rivers and creeks operate. They're flowing downward. So you would think if they're trying to find their way out, they should have followed the creek, actually. And so, but of course, Thais is like, no, we're going to go a different way.
Man, Thaisa was just like word gunning. She wanted the gun. Gunning, means to like basically push over X for your own way. But she was just like harsh. I know we're doing this and basically yelling. If you don't agree with her, then fuck off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was no.
It was really. It was her trigger point. Like her buttons are pushed. She's done, and this is when she goes psychotic at the end. But yeah, Thaisa is like, whoo, and you see her cutting her hair too in the beginning.
Yeah, she wants to. She's Daddy Ty. No, she just is. She wants to be the boss of this expedition. She's like, it's going to be my way or the highway. So you guys are going to follow me. I'm going to be in charge. we're not discussing this. Nobody else's, points of view are welcome. And I think once, like, especially Van, I think once she kind of sees that side of her, that's when she's just like, we don't need any more lectures, Thaisa. We just need to rest, kind of thing. Like, she's just sick of her shit.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Yeah. So Lola, so I'm from the Netherlands, and lately I've been fascinated by the American Canadian wilderness, and Alaskan doom coming sounds so cool. Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. That, it's so,
we would love to have you, Lola,
to see how other people view like American culture and that kind of thing from other countries, because of course us sitting here,
we're crazy.
I love to look at like European culture. I'm obsessed with like Arthurian legends and that kind of thing. So anyways, it's just fun to like, it's interesting to see how.
I wonder, like, no, Lola, do you know about like runes and stuff? Like, do you I like, we've been interested in that. So
yeah, do you know about the Danes? No, I don't know.
Runes, they go back. I would say they go back to the Netherlands too, right?
I think so. Like,
yeah.
The Danish are okay. Anyways, I don't want to.
No,
I'm not going to expose my level of knowledge.
Yeah, it's not one country; it's a big area.
Yeah, Saxon folk invading. Anyways, yeah.
Not yet, Lola.
Not yet. You know what? You know about the symbol, though. You know the symbol.
We'll learn together.
All right. So let's see what's next. So
we're going to become indigenous people in the woods. That's what's going to happen. None of us will come home. You know that this crew.
If you accept the wilderness into your heart.
Yeah, we're going to have like literal golden hearts, and we will be thriving, not just surviving. We'll be thriving. And I'm going to be like, naked and afraid. Because that's my favorite. Exactly. I love Naked and Afraid. It's the best.
Rodney does too. That's like one of his favorites. But yeah, so they, they're hiking. I love the scene of like Van where she's retelling While You Were Sleeping, and there is a really funny scene. Van's like telling the story of while you were sleeping, and then it cuts to the scene of Misty and Jessica Roberts, and they're sitting there watching While You Were Sleeping. And, Misty is out here. She goes with them on the expedition. So I think like Misty and Van might have I would love to see them like expand on their relationship in the future. Like, do they have a dynamic of their own? Because we also know that at the end of season 1, when Lottie is taking the bear heart to the stump as an offering, her little acolytes are Van and Misty. So I would like to see more, like learn more about like their kind of bond or dynamic, because we didn't get any of that in season 2 in the adult timeline.
So started with Mary and Akila and Misty, because we talk about them being the triad, the 3 witches, the 3 eyes. They have like this kind of like thing together. But yeah, Misty, like her joining the thing was like a heart-throbbing performance of her being this I need to, because she saw Coach talking to Ty. Coach, I got to go with my team. And she's like manipulating the narrative. As always, she's trying to control the agenda, and she loves to like, do it like that. And she's jealous and wanted to Coach's affection. But it was interesting how they do the While You Were Sleeping, because to me, so there's a quote that Ty says, like, or that Van says to Ty, like, oh, amnesia wife the bee, you don't remember, you don't have amnesia. Like, funny how Ty doesn't remember her family. Like, we're always making the comments about like, Ty, aren't you worried about your family? Where's your son? What about your wife? Was she in the hospital? What do you have amnesia? Do you remember? Like, it's kind of interesting to me, because I thought that that's kind of giving us a clue into season 2, where she just kind of doesn't. She just ends up going off and having amnesia, driving out to while you were streaming. And that's the other thing I thought about it. Like, how traumatic is this trauma bond? Because while you were sleeping, and then this is what happens. Like, this is what happened. Thaisa was sleeping and fell apart, and Van got her face bit off and almost and died. Tyson didn't save her.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the trauma bond makes Van feel that way, and the love bond and all of this like narcissistic bond, the flames, you remember things different. You get amnesia, you lose this thing. And then she talks about, like, earlier there was a comment of Van saying, oh, you keep doing dumb shit while the rest of us fade away. I could not be less triggered with that from a narcissistic abuse standpoint, because that's what you do. They keep doing dumb shit, leaving you in this wonder. Why do they keep doing this? They promise they're not going to do this. They're doing the same thing over and over and over. Oh, no, I'm going to change. I'm going to change. You don't change. They keep doing it. They don't even care. And they bite at you, little by little, cut at you, fade away while the rest of them fade away.
Mm-hmm.
And this was such an insightful comment to me when I rewatched this. I was like, I like, obviously you can tell I'm very authoritatively talking about it, but it is dark, and it is just the truth though. And it's like, man, and then they go into like this whole soft pretzels and carriage rides, and oh yeah, we're feeding each other, but nah, you're taking bites out of each other. And
good point.
So
I really like
several comments like that. Van said several comments that were very, this is something that pertains to Tyson's character in the future. And actually, Yellowjackets, I mean, wow, writers, wow, you really are giving us all these little bits and clues that, like, we never even thought. And now that we're coming back, we're like, holy balls. Mm-hmm. They just told it right in front of our face. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, do we have cognitive dissonance? Because are you telling us the truth or not? What's a liar?
Oh my God. We are so, like, I can't watch, like, sometimes I'll listen to other podcasts that are talking about Yellowjackets, and
they're not even watching the same show.
I know. I'm like, well, dude, I'm sorry, this is so outer layers of the onion, and we are like at the we're crying in the core, like. And
I love that you say onion. Like, actually, now that you say onion, our recipe this year is French onion soup for Shauna's French onion soup. That was my thing, because Adam makes a comment about the French, but like had an outrageous situation.
Yeah.
Yes, French farce onion soup, Shauna's, or like the lying eggs, like the turn easy over eggs for Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna add those to the things, but I do want to say about the secrets despite us. Ty says in the future. Also, they're talking about, you know, what, where are my things about the lies? I had a couple comments about lying that I thought was really good.
I agree with this, Wild Marjoram. I would love to see a 1998 scene where Ty and Van are in New York sharing a pretzel. Maybe not 1998, but like, honestly, I would, like, we talked about this in our last stream. Like, I would love to, I mean, the breakup, whatever happens between them when their relationship falls apart, obviously they stay together for like a few years after they're back in you know, after they're rescued, because they go to Shauna's wedding together. They say something about that. And that still happens when they're relatively young, but Ty, you know, she talks about her past and like dating beautiful women and this and that. And then of course she gets together with Simone and they have a child together. So obviously, like, whatever happens with Ty and Van, you know, at some point they break up, and it doesn't seem like it was necessarily on good terms. I would love to see, maybe they break up. Like, if I think it's probably them in New York and they break up in New York, like while they're eating a pretzel or something, would be like so chilling. I just would love it.
I think it's probably because she keeps doing the same stuff over and over and over, dumb shit, while she gets eaten alive. That's what I think is going to happen. Is Van gives her way too many chances, and here Van is giving her more chances again.
I agree. Like, I feel like it's going to, you know, Van is like so loving, and I think she, Ty just is so consuming, right? Like, and I feel like Van is a giver and Ty is a taker, you know,
codependent narcissist. Yeah. I mean, it's giver taker. It's literally the same energy, no matter what you want to call it. But yeah, it's the same energy, like predator prey, you know.
Yeah.
Giver taker.
Yeah. So we
have one who blames themselves and one who blames others.
Very true. So, yeah. So,
So
and
wait, oh wait, I want to make
Ty
wish
in
you were.
her
Oh,
self-righteous, I was gonna say Ty in her self-righteousness, she's like, well, I'll take the first watch, you guys rest, as like, oh. And then what happens,
the
first of all,
trust
she takes
fund.
Van's necklace that Lottie had given her. She takes Van's necklace, which I think is really strange. And she's holding it like when she finally wakes up out of her, when she's in the tree, which is just so strange.
And like far away. Yeah, like not
Yeah.
even close.
And it's like, what happened here? Because I mean, I'm gonna be so for real. And I was a vet tech in my younger years, and I've studied wolves like quite a lot. The whole wolf scene is absolutely bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry. That would just never happen. But just the whole thing is like, and then Ty like beating a wolf with a friggin' stick. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. This was one of my, I can pick
that
this
axe
apart, but
that's Misty's axe, and I'm pretty sure that Misty's axe is a demonic. It's demonically cursed. That axe. That's Misty's axe.
well, Ty just picks up a stick off the ground and starts beating.
No, it's an axe.
Was
it's Misty's axe. Yes, it's Misty's axe. That's how I was like,
random.
This axe is like the cat's paw dagger. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to double check it. Because I swear it was just a stick that she just picked up. But regardless, like, wolves would not do that. A wolf pack would not stalk a group of humans who have fire. It just would not have, like, they might, but they just wouldn't come in and like pick them off. It was just such a weird thing. So unless like there's some weird an undertone of like, did Thaisa lead the wolves in, or did she let the wolves in? But that doesn't even make sense. That makes it even more dumb. So anyways, sorry. I love Yellowjackets, but this scene bothered me just because I'm like, this just wouldn't, like, wolves don't operate like that. That's not how they.
Yeah, it was different. But I mean, they were sleeping and like away, Van wasn't, I mean, yeah, it was different. Hey, what is this? I need to ask a question. What is this this thing she's talking about, copy of Long Lost Friends? Is this our book club? Because I didn't get the book I was really like, I didn't know what I could put for book club this episode. Is this what it is? Can you please talk a little bit more about that, or make another comment about that? Anyway, like I'm trying to do the book club thing. If it ever happens, it will. But yeah.
Oh, they're talking about. Anyways, so yeah. So anyways, so I don't know. So they have this situation. They think that Van is this in this episode, or do they do it in the next episode when Van's funeral situation? I think that's in episode 8. But
yeah, it's the beginning. It's the front intro. It rolls into after the credits, and I thought it was part of this episode too, but no, it's the front intro.
I got a lot of stuff mixed in between these two episodes, because the next episode has a lot, like, it kind of, they definitely go together, these two episodes, 7 and 8. But yeah, so Van gets attacked. Ty, she's gone in her altered state. She doesn't even realize what's happening. She comes back. She was supposed to be keeping watch. That was her job. And she, let her team down, which is an interesting, position for Ty to be in. She lets her team down. They get attacked by the wolves. Ty kind of wakes up and she's like, what the heck is going on? Definitely some major connections with the opening of this episode, with Thaisa in the tree, bit by the dog, all covered in dirt. She's fighting with the dog, fighting with the animal. So definite like foreshadowing, and those scenes kind of linked together. But Van is certainly messed up. She got her face, you can see her teeth, and she definitely looks pretty rough in this scene. So
it's really
it's pretty bad. So all right, well, let's
up in that where the no compass Canadian triangle too. I forgot to mention that, but I think so. You know what I want to do is I want to do like a stupid series of the "Wish You Were Here" postcards with like, and then that I want to put a scene of like Van and them eating. Oh, I think I said this in the beginning of the episode. Van and them eating on the carriage ride. Wish you were here, and like wish you were here, like. And also like the love child of Randy Walsh. Like I just thought like who I would put it as like if y'all ever saw Rudy, you gotta be like Rudy with like the Yellowjackets, like go Jackets, and you know like working at the strip club, or like it would be like a daughter working at the strip club with Randy.
Hold on, I've got a picture
Randy
of
and
Mandy.
Randy and Mandy. Her name's Mandy. And love child of Randy.
I have a picture of baby Randy here.
Mandy's a hoe name. It is. I was watching. I know I should be showing my 7-year-old Ted, but like they were like, Mandy, what's the most white trash name? Mandy. Hey.
There's a Trailer Park Boys connection for you. Oh, Mandy, that feels fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
I can tell you, Mandy, every time Archie and I watch that, I'm like, oh, Mandy, I always think of you.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Here's baby Randy.
That's it. And that is probably me when I was like 21 with the blonde hair. I was blonde for a minute. Actually, I was thinking about doing some highlights. But anyway, Mandy is probably the name of the love child of Randy. Randy and Shauna.
What in grease?
Madonna.
With this bread. Anyways,
yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys. I literally
like me throwing to my kid, go make your own PJ during the stream. Okay,
don't worry. They put him up for adoption with a much better family. All right, let's get into this.
This acts demonic possession, I'm sure. Van needs a passive-aggressive shirt that says "bite me." We need that. Yeah, really? Fire?
Yeah, really? Fire?
And that goes to our song choice of our 90s playlist of "We Are the Fire Starters." I am a fire starter.
That just is such a good like 90s song. Like, come on, Prodigy back in the day. Like, what?
Talking about Randy's Prodigy. She's gonna have red hair too, right?
You guys remember the 1996 Video Music Awards, or is it just me?
I don't know.
I do. And Prodigy did a live performance. It was on the video, like they weren't actually at the Video Music Awards, but it was filmed. I want to say they were in like Brazil or something like that. And they were doing this massive concert, and they streamed it into the Video Music Awards as like, you know, one of their performers or whatever. And I think they were playing Firestarter. This is my autism for you guys.
Wait, did we say MTV? MTV. This is my like MTV.
Mm-hmm.
I got it from
That's
Kohl's.
old school, dude.
No, I got it from Kohl's recently, and I'm like, oh, look at this. I can rap it on the stream.
Kids these days will never know that MTV was actually for music.
Yeah, they used to have the MTV News. What is up with that?
MTV News. Didn't they do like a Yellowjackets? They did a Yellowjackets thing. Like they did a Yellowjackets fake MTV News thing. An ad.
Probably the last time I watched MTV was like 2001 when Carson Daly or whatever.
Yeah, TRL
every afternoon came back out.
Come on, those were the good old days. All right, so Lisa,
let's do Misty. Okay, let's start talking.
Child of Nat and Travis. I think Lisa is Javi, and you'll never.
Yeah, I love it.
You'll never convince me otherwise. He's either, it's just like Callie is Jackie reincarnated. Lisa is Javi reincarnated, and they are also Jesus Christ reincarnated.
Amen.
So.
Amen. Not Jesus Christ, but I mean, we all can be like that. But yes, amen. She's something special like that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I agree. I think that is the funnest theory ever. And I think that we need to really actually make the video.
There was like Twitter like kind of trend that was going around where people were like, this was a couple weeks ago, and they were like, R.I.P. You know, so and so, or I can't even remember. Like, I don't even know, but they were reborn as so-and-so. And like, there was a bunch of different ones. Like people did like, anyways, but when I made one that I was like, oh, and it was Javi and like, actually, I'll pull it up. Actually, no, never mind. But
you're still on Twitter?
No. Unfortunately.
I don't. I hate Twitter. I hate it.
Hey, I go on Twitter. Well, whatever. Anyways, you guys are funny.
But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I want to see it.
A couple people, like, I saw the funniest tweet the other day where somebody was posting. They watched my cannibalism and sapphic love video.
Yeah.
And they're watching it, and it's showing them watching it with like, you know, the YouTube title below, and then there's somebody's text message coming in, and it's from Dad. Hey, did you find a job yet? And I was like, this is the best. This is the best screenshot I've ever seen in my life.
Literally, I'm gonna have to get on Twitter just to see that for you.
It was so funny. I pinned it to my page. So if you guys want to go be amused, I died laughing. So anyways, thank you guys if you've watched that video.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got let's try and get through this last little bit.
Yeah.
Forever. So okay, so we've got the heist. Okay. So basically the episode opened and Thaisa and Nat were getting their text that says bring 50K to, you know, X location and whatever. So Natalie got the money together. Shauna got the Etsy reject of a bag together. And she also ordered a little tracking device off of Amazon, which, her husband probably uses her Amazon account, just saying. And so he probably saw the tracker was coming anyways. But, so they meet up at at Natalie's hotel where Randy also lives. And
he doesn't live, he's there with they're conspiring together with isn't Randy helping Jeff? Randy could have sent the postcards.
Good point. I guess I hadn't thought about that. I don't think Randy's smart enough to send the post. No, Randy wouldn't know the post. He wouldn't know the symbol. But maybe he ordered it, like, if Jeff, like, he and Jeff are obviously, but I don't think Randy, I just think it's coincidental that Randy is also at the hotel at the same time. I don't think there's any.
Because they'd say it in season 2. They're talking about how he was there, like, how he's been in cohorts with Jeff. I mean, maybe it was a little bit both, how he's fighting with the wife, but, like.
Yeah, I always took it more like
we gotta look back into this. I
don't think he was there keeping an eye on Natalie. I think that was just a random coincidence. But
I think it's just there's probably only one hotel in that little area.
Yeah. But yeah, so they get the stuff all together. I love their outfits here too, by the way. Very much like Greek goddess inspired. Like Nat's definitely got like this Artemis thing going on with like the sash, and then like Thaisa, you know, is forever just being Hecate in all black. And then Shauna being the mother, the reincarnation mother goddess with her butterfly on her shirt. And of course her purple sweater.
Let me point that out though too, because this is one big butterfly and I think it has a circle around it. Mm-hmm. Then the Jackie scene when they're in the closet, she's wearing there's like 9 little butterflies with a little French thing. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this before, but she has the multiple butterflies. Now she's like the big one. So.
Well, and the butterflies are like a huge, I mean, they're definitely like hugely symbolic in this. They also are in, they use them in Jennifer's body. I think it's like a Karen Kusama, like, what am I trying, like a little Easter egg kind of thing, because butterflies are, you know, associated with like the reincarnation cycle, and Jackie, it quite often is wearing butterflies quite often in this series. Probably in every single episode she wears at least like one butterfly thing. Maybe not every episode, but like I'm going to say about like 80% of the time. So anyways, okay, so they do the whole heist situation. You know, we kind of talked about earlier them sort of in the car and that kind of thing. They put the money in like a clothing donation bin is basically where they tell them. Well, then of course the guy that's picking up the donations comes along, and lo and behold, Jeff, we presume it's Jeff, we know Jeff is the blackmailer, comes and sat, and it's just interesting, like Ty and Nat, they go straight into like battle mode. Like those girls, they're fit, they're ready to go. Shauna, she's like, you know, mom body, she's like in the car, but she hauls ass. She doesn't mess around in her dragon yoke chariot, and she comes out the cut and comes around. But this is one thing where there's a little bit of inaccuracies, because I'm like, do you think that she wouldn't have seen her husband's car? Like, do you think she wouldn't know her husband's own car? Like, granted, Jeff goes left and Shauna comes through the left, but I just kind of feel like she would see her husband's car and be like, so there is kind of this little question in me that kind of wonders if she knew subconsciously, if she had a feeling, or, you know, whatever. But yeah, so,
okay, I want to talk about the bag though, because like since Shauna and Jeff in the feeling, but she didn't care about the bag that Callie made out of just private save this stash.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't care about her daughter's bag. Like me, I have every single picture or every little whatever Felix has ever made separated in a giant box, and I will not get rid of any of them. Meanwhile, she's throwing away this beautiful bag, which is in Jeff's sacred pile.
Yeah,
that she doesn't even care about. She doesn't care.
Yeah,
I like that to me was so Shauna. I was like, man, you and
then
like where she says the stuff about
like one of your own bags, or even just like something that's not a set. Like, I have a million bags around here, and maybe one or two of them, like I know for a fact my husband is like, these, you know, he would be upset if I got rid of them. Like, maybe they're not made by the children, but like when there's something special to your partner, you should respect that. And she literally had complete disregard for that.
And maybe it has Callie's handprints on it, so maybe she's like framing Callie, you know? Maybe it has some symbolism later on, because literally, like, it's red blood handprint.
Yeah, I kind of feel it's like, you know, Jeff. I just want, like, obviously we didn't get
so mad about
see how he reflects on that, but I wonder, like, if when he got the bag was just like, what the fuck, you know, like, why would you do that? I don't know. It's just kind of a.
I don't think he even noticed.
He's kind of,
you know,
Jeff is a himbo.
It's like, I did like how Thais is like, just like it states, like 25 years later. Okay. Where are you stuck? Like,
totally. I agree.
Wow.
But yeah, so then of course Natalie, she's the huntress. She's got no problem. She's first of all, she's done.
She's like gangsta.
Yeah, her and Kevin were like hooking up. She snuck out of there, which is like crazy enough that like Kevin would sleep through her sneaking out of there, because he's staying in like some strange hotel room with a woman. It's the first time he's hooked up with her, and then she happens to sneak out for like hours. She's gone for like hours. They're waiting for him, and then she sneaks back in, and she's taking the gun. Like, he didn't even wake. It's like, you're a terrible cop. I wake up at the slightest little noise in my house. How the hell did you freaking sleep through all that? But
I thought the same exact thing. I was just like, what? And then the gun scene though, there was, you know, it plays out how naive. I don't even know about guns. I was just playing with it, you know, for protection. Like, yeah, the girl, she don't need that. But like the fact that she's like, oh, you know, I was messing around and it came off. But like the fact I was sitting on a bench. So to me, that stood out because the bench soccer player.
Yeah,
that was benched by her team. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like kind of interesting term.
Yeah, that's a good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And she.
Oh, and then wait.
Okay.
Okay. Because then what happens is when he starts saying accounted for and all this stuff, like he becomes, you know, the him and her dynamic that they like. But after hanging out with the narcissist psychopath, dark triad girls, she's got the narcissistic fleas. She got triggered. She got pointed. So what she starts to do is she starts self-projecting onto Kevin. and starts going off on him and being so mean and like things that I don't think Nat would normally say, you know, like she's not that kind of person to put him down like that. Even her friends, she didn't put them down like that. But like, you know, she had the narcissistic please, like, oh, pathetic and cute with high school crush, and like she was feeling pathetic and cute with the mixtape, and she was trying and saying, and like, you know, it was something that I felt like that projection, you know, Flea went to. It was sad.
I think you have a good point, and I also have always kind of said that I don't think that Natalie ever really cared about Kevin that much. Like, I think she does from a level that like she's supposed to, where she's like, oh, well, I should feel bad. Like, yeah, we were friends as when we were kids, but like, really, she didn't go out of her way to like seek him out. He had something that she needed. She wanted Travis's information. She wanted Travis's tox report, all those things. And so she got what she wanted from him, and then she was like, yeah, your little crush on me is pathetic, get out of here, I already got what I wanted from you. And I've said that before, where it's
but she also
give me the haiku is how Natalie feels about their whole relationship. Just give me the haiku. I just need the fast version. I don't care, give me the fast version and you're out of here. And I will stand. I mean, I think she cares about Kevin like as a human. Like, I think she cares because she realizes he's a good person and that he doesn't deserve any bad things or whatever to happen to him, and he has a son and he's a good dad. You know, I think she thinks he's a good person, but I don't think I 1,000,000% believe she's so in love with Travis, and this whole thing with Travis is so.
It's all about Travis.
Yeah, it's just like she says, this isn't for us, this is for Travis. And that includes her sleeping with Kevin just to get the information that she needs. You know,
I don't think
she feels gross
exactly
about it afterwards. What's that?
I don't think exactly that, because it happened multiple times. Like, and they went on several dates. It wasn't just the information, but like she also like. Okay, so remember, they die in the same episode. Like, Nat, what if Nat had found out Kevin died and the responsibilities she would have felt?
Yeah,
you know, she might have killed herself after that. She might have done something worse after that. Like, I really think so. And I think the haiku energy is just Nat's like big D energy coming in. Like, okay, I didn't get time for this bullshit. And she does it with also the other characters too. So I think she just knows she can push over Kevin. And she has to feel that energy. And she's using that as an energy because she's lost that. But she found her voice again, but like she's been so pushed over too. So it's coming out. This is and a lot of it's on her trigger points as well. But like she did like him because she's telling the girls about it. Like, I'm dating a guy, you know, I'm seeing him, and you know, it seems nice, and she's helping his kid. And she's telling Shauna, not two kids don't matter, not to me. Like, it sounds good. It sounds nice. But she realizes what it is she realizes that's just a haiku. That's a poem. That's a poem in her life, because her life's been so tragic. Her life's been so trauma bonded. Her life could never be that, even if she wanted to put on that pretend face and do it. But Nat ain't pretending anymore. She knows what to do. Season 1 episode, she gets on the red eye. I know what I need to do. And she's not pretending. She's telling the truth, and she's the voice of truth. And this is her lying to herself, which we talked about earlier. How when narcissists lie to herself, she finds herself lying to herself, and she self-projects it onto Kevin, saying, well, what did you think? It was going to be cute? Because she thought that it could have happened. I really do think that she thought for a moment, but she realized she couldn't. Because she does tell Kevin the truth. You know what? I can't. I'm still really stuck with
she does.
I really suck.
Well, she does when they're out on the date. When he tries to kiss her, she's like, you know, I'm still all messed up about Travis. And so later,
the first date, though.
Yeah, I just think it's like she just went through the motions of doing what she felt like she needed to do to get what she needed. I don't think she's like heartless or anything like that. I just think, like you said, she realizes that like Kevin is a good person and that he's just a haiku in her life, because her life is tragic and it's always going to be tragic. And she loves Travis, and you know, with like, I just think she I don't know. I just don't believe that she felt anything really that deep for Kevin. Like, I think she wanted to, but she just couldn't. you know, and if it
was a
may
nice,
have been a different time in their lives that they like ran into each other, but it wasn't. It was the
it was
time
a
that
nice
it was.
romantic haiku getaway.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I
So
don't think you have to justify it like that. I totally get what you're saying, and she's not mean. It's just that was not.
yeah, she's just a straight shooter,
She's
for lack of a better
truthful.
term.
She's
but
gunning. Are
but
they
she
gunning for each other?
but so, and then of course she shoots at the car, no problem, when Jeff, you know, when the blackmailer takes their money. And it's funny because she's just in, it's funny, like it's $50,000 of her money. So I'm sorry if she wants to shoot at the guy. It kind of makes sense. And of course, Thaisa and Shauna were like, Natalie, don't be so crazy. But it's $50,000 of her money. So I don't know. I don't know what's the right or wrong answer here. But if somebody was stealing $50,000 from me, I would probably shoot at them also. And so I don't know. You guys
also.
What?
Oh yeah, the $50,000 of her money from her baby, her car.
Mm-hmm.
That Tyson's like, where'd you get that money? And then they're even condescending about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's money. Shut the hell up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's not as much as I thought it would be. Well, like, but then Tyson's like, that's my baby. As they don't even realize that Nat just sold her car. Like,
yeah. They don't ask like how she got the money or anything like that, especially considering like it was Thaisa who had paid for her rehab and all of that.
Yeah.
But she's not like, how did you get this money? You know, when I've like, I don't know.
They don't care. They're inconsiderate. They don't care as long as they don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just how Thaisa, when she called to get out of jail, well, I don't have to do it. I'm not doing it again. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. She's like, well, I can't get the money.
Pull you in. Sorry.
Oh, she said, I can't get the money because I'd have to tell my wife like what's going on or whatever. Like I'm fighting with my wife, which like granted, that's a reasonable excuse, but also like you're being blackmailed for $50,000 and you can't tell your own wife about that. I don't know. Same with like Jeff and Shauna, you know, like, I don't know. I can't speak. I guess I've never been placed in a survival situation where I'm like, you know, completely bonded to these women in this psychological game that is life. That is.
They just get so separated though.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Like, they're messed up.
They keep their separation, and their relationship is based on what they do for the basic needs. Like, that was me and mine. Like he works, and he goes, I gotta work. Everything's work all the time. Work. Why haven't you cooked? Why haven't you cleaned? Or you stay home. Well, I cook and I clean. That's it. But like there was no relationship. And then except the only relationship is them trauma bonding or cheating or based on lies. Mm-hmm. Which Jeff literally says, and he's okay with. That's the thing. They become okay with that later. And it kind of seems romantic, but is it? Because but it's actually when they're finally starting to tell the truth. And Jeff's like, well, I always knew the truth about you. You just didn't tell me. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the differentiations. But at that point, they're so codependent of each other. There's no escape. Like there really is no escape unless you go through years more of trauma abuse and breaking the trauma bonds and like traumatizing yourself in like these crazy ways that has every part of getting out of a narcissistic relationship. And if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, Adam knows. Adam knows what it's like to be in a narcissistic relationship, and he can't get enough. So they leave, you know, the whole situation, the blackmail heist situation, and Shauna goes home, and who's waiting at her driveway? But this son of a bitch.
I would say, get the hell out of it. Like, yo, no, boundaries, bye. Never again.
Well, you know what? And like, hey.
That's too much. Like, that's beyond.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. He should not have shown up at her house. And he's like, well, I made a judgment call because I didn't see a car. Like, literally, they have a garage. Like, her husband could be parked in the garage. But
also, like, that's how covert narcissists do. They'll do it in front of you. They'll go and have sex with your best friend and then flaunt in front of you and pretend like nothing's happening. Oh, Jackie, Shauna. Oh, my husband and this other girl. Oh, whatever. That's what they do. They won't even keep it secret. You know, they'll invite him over to dinner.
Yeah. And so it is weird. Like, I mean, like it's interesting because like Adam is really like, okay, Adam is really like attached to Shauna. He's like very kind of borderline obsessive. Like he texts her nonstop. He texts her like in the when she's at Jackie's birthday lunch with her family. He's texting her nonstop. He texts her at home nonstop. He's sending her like pictures and stuff. Like this is the making of getting your ass in trouble, you know? And so she's feeding into it. Sometimes she's resisting it. Sometimes she's, you know, giving into it. And, but this situation where he's at her house, and granted, like Shauna believes that Jeff is out cheating on her. So like, basically at this point, it's like, you know, Shauna doesn't really believe that that Jeff is the blackmailer. She doesn't know. And she believes that he's out cheating on her with someone named Bianca. This is where her mind is. He's constantly gone overnight, staying at the furniture store for doing the inventory database. So like in Shauna's mind, she believes that Jeff is unfaithful to her. He's a very attractive man. You know, he's out doing whatever he's doing. He has fantasies about seducing some woman in the furniture shop, that he's there all the time, staying overnight. There's beds, there's this, that. And so, you know, she really thinks that he's being unfaithful to her. And so she kind of feels justified in like what she's doing with Adam. However, this whole situation where he like shows up at her house and she's like, yeah, like, and he says to her, you know, every cell in your being wants to blow things up and see what happens. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting idea because it definitely like connects back to the whole plane crash experience, blow things up and see what happens. And that's how Shauna thrives. You know, this mundane housewife life is peaceful. And I think Jeff wanted to provide that for her as like a shelter to keep her safe, so she never has to experience like the traumatic plane crash experience and all of that came along with it. I think he tried to build their life so that she felt safe. But in that safety, she realizes that she thrives in the chaos, you know? And so Adam showing up, being sort of like an agent of chaos, being that sort of outlet for her, she's like, yeah, let's blow things up and see what happens. And so she invites him in and they sleep together, and he stays the night in their bed. And then Jeff comes home in the morning and wakes them up, the French farce. So Shauna sends Adam, you know, to hide in the closet, and, you know, lies to Jeff and he goes and takes the shower or whatever. Let's be so for real. If my husband came in, like, I'm sorry, like you would smell another man.
Smell it? I know,
you
right?
Would smell that man. And just like if I came in the house and another bitch was in here, I'd smell that bitch.
But like Jeff is like also hiding his, like he's hiding that he was out robbing people. You know, he's hiding the whole thing.
But
he thinks
that's like
very
you
true. Can tell Shauna's lying because she's like, well, what did you do? I every time she lies. But this whole like flamethrower thing too, I love how she projected to him, you're not in control, Adam, you're just not used to it, which is basically her. And then also blowing things up, yes, project. And she was telling Nat, we're not about to go on 9th Avenue and project all these flames. Yes, give me a minute, please. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Just give me like 5 minutes, okay? Thank you. But anyway, hi.
We're on
so she's projecting about the flamethrower. And I was like, wait a second. Did Shauna light up the cabin? Maybe Shauna lit the cabin on fire.
Ooh. No, I don't think so. But it is an interesting idea. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, you know, but I do feel like Adam, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I have my own ideas of like what his actual source of his intentions are. And it all kind of like, I think these guys are all like connected to Lottie, in my opinion. But I you know, and so there's part of me that's like, is he trying to like stir up trouble for her? Is he trying to get her caught so that, like, you know, what would be the point? Well, maybe if he is involved with Lottie, that might be like a way of directing her to like go to Lottie or something. You know, there's just these things that kind of get that are hinted at with Adam, especially, and just what the motivation. So that kind of ties back into like who sent the postcard stuff. Like, I think Lottie did send some intentional chaos into their lives to bring them back together, whether she's doing it consciously or subconsciously, you know, because she, as we know from season 2, kind of believes like, oh, none of this like happened. But at the same time, she's got the symbol at her place. And, you know, there's all these little like contradictions to what she's doing. So I definitely think like Adam is probably connected to her, and that might be part of why he knows exactly what spots to hit with Shauna, how to stir up chaos in her life specifically, just the same way Walter Tattersall knows how to stir up chaos in Misty's life, or, you know, what points to hit with her. Like, it's, and then even Travis with Natalie. Like, I think obviously Travis and Lottie were involved outside of, you know, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. But also, like, I gotta throw in there, the active imagination is a real thing. Active imagination can become physical people and physical things, like Misty and you know, and Walter Tattersall. Like, he could be an active imagination as it is too. And like, when they have a group think and when they have a shared trauma, they can come up and think of the same things, the same kind of memories or people or things, or, you know, maybe the axe was a stick, but there was an axe to the rest of them. Like, who knows? Because active imagination is very, Carl Jung is what I'm talking about. Google it. There's a guy, Externalized, who talks really great stuff about Carl Jung. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Anyway, though, it could be a whole lot of things. And, you know, maybe they all needed that trauma bonding of burying Adam's body together. Well, we know Adam's body is real, but yeah, I do think the whole Lottie thing is true. I definitely don't deny that. And I think it's, yeah, that's all I say.
But then
disassociation, though, like when she killed him, she was disassociating. Like where you said she doesn't remember like what she does or whatever. Like she got triggered again too. So like you see that is a clear example of what we were talking about earlier with Shauna's mental, you know, problems. Yeah, they could all be having dark and stuff. They do disassociate. I mean, that's what we do as a normal people, but it starts, you know, memories are we can only remember so much until things are triggered, like Shauna's triggering. So.
And then I honestly this part happened in this episode. So she
don't bring us into your endless pit of guilt. The pit.
The pit, Okay, and then Shauna goes and she finds glitter in the closet, and she finds that her journals are missing. And so that's kind of how this episode ends, where she's just like, what, you know, she finds the glitter and she thinks it's Adam because that's where she sent him to hide. But Jeff is all, you know, he's also in the closet. So, you know, so there's it's interesting. And like, in like looking back now, it's like, how would Adam have known the safe code, whereas Jeff has had all the time? So there are like the little things where it all plays out, where it seems like, Jeff was responsible for all of this stuff. So it is kind of, he's the asshole covered in glitter.
Or Shauna.
Well, or that,
I bet they all are after something. They all are after cannibalizing Jackie, that's for sure.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, so that's pretty much all for this episode. I think we talked about all of it and then some. Do you have any final thoughts on this episode, Mandy?
No, it's been great, real. It's been great and real. I mean, no, I mean, I've said ways so beyond many thoughts. So
yeah.
It's always
we've been chatting our heads off here, vaping our heads off.
with no compass.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of a chaos stream, but you know what? We got through it and we talked about everything. And if you guys haven't been here since the beginning, we did talk about season 3 updates in the beginning of the stream. So definitely go back and rewatch because there have been a lot of updates in the last few weeks. So definitely check all those out. And of course, the beautiful shots of the ladies at the Emmys in their beautiful dresses. And but thank you to everyone who's been here watching. And we'll be back next week. We're taking our time getting through season 1. It's obviously taken us like 3 or 4 months at this point, but we're getting there.
We're not anyone else's time but our time, okay? Like you were born in your time. Yeah, no, I'm on Mandy time all the time.
But no, we're having fun, and I'm so thankful to you guys who are here with us. Like, we just love streaming with you and chatting with you all and just kind of keeping the Yellowjackets spirit going until, we've got the whole year, okay? Because season 3 is coming in 2025, so we've got a whole year to try and keep you guys occupied.
You like
so let
me.
us know. Let us know in the chat or in the comments if there's something more you want to see from us regarding Yellowjackets. Of course, House of the Dragon is coming out this summer, so I will be covering some stuff for that. But I'm gonna try and keep it intermixed with Yellowjacket stuff and keep the love going. So
I know she has coerced me into attempting to do it with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna. So we're
probably gonna have more guest speakers too. I mean, yeah.
The Monday Morning Murder podcast will be coming back at it with House of the Dragon stuff. So, and Mandy, she's gonna come out of her dragon egg shell. She's got to shed her skin and become a new dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen,
no, we're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
My lit is what starts it. Okay, like that's all I gotta say. My lit's always lit. Mm-hmm. So whether it's in the dark, it's even brighter. So let's just go there. But yeah, I have some really good stuff coming in the works. If my life can ever get a break. But it's happening. They're there. They're written down on paper. So that's the biggest step to me. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm taking my sweet time also. I'm working on a video for Alice Rivers, and I'm just like really taking my time with it. And I've been kind of like dragging my feet because I'm waiting to see. But you know what? Like, I'm waiting to see if they're going to release any Alice Rivers like art or anything like that with like the trailers, and I haven't seen anything so far. And so I've been like, well, I kind of want something like official, but I don't think I'm going to end up waiting for it. I think I'm just going to get that video out for you guys, and it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited. So if you guys are fans of Alice Rivers, who is going to be in season 2 of House of the Dragons, and she's like our sorceress lady, and I have so many thoughts about her, like so many. So I'm really excited to work on that for you guys. And yes, Wild Marjoram, check out the Cyborg Queen, Kelly, the Antler Queen. And she's got an excellent channel. She's also covering season 1 right now. She just started a couple weeks ago. So I think she just did episode 2 last night, or episode 2 or 3. I'm not sure. But anyways, she's got a great channel. Love her. Friend of the channel. I covered season 2, episode 8 with her. So yeah, love her to death. And Dark Maven, I do not cover From. I haven't actually watched From. I know, like, I've had so many people recommend it to me. It's just not really been on my radar. I mean, it's on my radar. It's just, I don't know. I haven't put it as a high priority. I did just watch.
Are you talking about us? This is us every stream. Some of them go 5 hours.
Seriously. I just watched, actually Mandy recommended the show called The Curse, and that's on Paramount also, or on Showtime, or what, same place, Yellowjackets. But it was really good. I really liked The Curse a lot. It was so good. I kind of like again dragged my feet on watching that, and I watched it just in time for the season finale of it, and it was so freaking good. I really liked it. So if you guys haven't watched the first, check it out.
Real.
Yeah. And I've been watching True Detective, and the new season of True Detective is really coming strong. Of course, I like it. I'm maybe a little biased because it's taking place in Alaska. But hey, it's excellent.
I'm watching it now. Actually, I think I just watched it the other day, and I'm like, what the hell are we watching? Because they find a deer in the snow.
Nope, not a deer. Not a deer. They did not find that deer in the snow.
That one's about Stephen King. Something about Stephen King.
You should check it out, though. It's good. You should watch True Detective. I mean, I really loved the first.
Watch my kid.
I really loved the first season of True Detective. I did not like the second season. It had Vince Vaughn. I do not like Vince Vaughn. Okay, I don't even want to. I don't like him at all. He is just one. I don't know what it is. I just don't like him at all.
I mean, he's pompously annoying, but that's why I love him.
He just like triggers me. I think he reminds me of like someone in a past life or in this life that just is like, I don't know.
Are we gonna have to do like a Vince Vaughn meditation clearing?
I don't want to.
Like a heart chakra meditation clearing.
It's okay to just not like someone.
We're gonna do on the channel a Vince Vaughn heart chakra meditation clearing.
The Yellow King. Yeah. So but this season 4 of True Detective is bringing in a lot of the vibes from season 1. So they're interconnected. Wild Marjoram. So if you are watching it, season 4 seems to be really connected to season 1, which they haven't really done in the other seasons. They're supposed to be like kind of standalone things, but they're tying season 4 back into season 1 from what I can tell so far, and I'm loving it. It's so good. I have so many thoughts. I'm like biting my tongue to not just start covering the show, but I'm like, oh, it's hard to, anyways, whatever. Tra-la-la. Anyways, all right, you guys. Well, I think that is about it. We will be back next week with episode 8, Flight of the Bumblebee. A lot of craziness happens in that episode. So buckle up. Buckle up and grab your teddy bears, for next week. Am I right? So
what's his name? What's the teddy bear's name?
Leonard.
Yeah, that's right.
Such a demonic name. Let's be real. Okay, guys. Well, we will see you next week. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for watching. And again, if you are just tuning in, start back at the beginning because we do a lot of season 3 updates at the beginning of the stream. So definitely check all those out. But otherwise, thank you all, fellow jackets, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Jackie
out, but we don't have Jackie out because my kid flushed my SD card down the drain. Okay, bye.